Ladies and gentlemen, we've been advised that the kickoff will be at 7:10 this evening due to transportation issues with Sam Houston. So we're holding for another 10 minutes. I'll be back with you for introductions. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we've been advised, just a moment, we've been advised that the game starts at 7:10, not 7. So we're running 10 minutes late due to the Sam Houston traffic. I see the Stuco representatives for Lamar waving at me. If you're ready to do the Stuco exchange, are they ready? Because they've just shown up. So the Stuco reps are here for Sam Houston. We'll do the Stuco exchange. The gift exchange. Gift exchange for Sam Houston. Are you here yet? We see Waldo on the sideline. There's Waldo, now where's Waldo? Any student gift representatives from Sam Houston yet? If so, make your way to the center of the field. VP of Media. They are now going to sing the national anthem. Oh, no, I guess not. Stuco gift exchange representatives from Sam Houston, please make your way to the 50-yard line. Representative at the 43-yard line, 4th and 10. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we are running 10 minutes late due to transportation issues that Sam Houston experienced, but they are here, so it's just a matter of getting our act together. Welcome to the Sam Houston Band. Welcome everybody to the annual Chick-fil-A North Collins bowl game. Tonight's game between Sam Houston and Lamar is sponsored by by Chick-fil-A at North Collins Street. They wish best of luck to both teams. There are a couple of prizes we're giving away at the second quarter and at the third quarter. And there is a contest that we had during the week on Tuesday, I believe, where the team of the two booster clubs that competed, the band and the football team, the one that ended up with more receipts in the box at the restaurant, that team, whichever team it is, will win a $500 check from Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is awfully good to us at Lamar, and we really appreciate their support. And then at the end of the game, we will present a trophy to the winning coach, whomever that may be. My prediction is it's either going to be Lamar or Sam Houston.
Well, hello, Viking football fans, and welcome to this edition of Lamar Viking Varsity Football, brought to you by the Lamar Viking Football Booster Club. I'm Bill Frawley, doing the play-by-play tonight, and with me is Joe Toronto, going to be doing the color commentary and all the extra good information. Also in the booth tonight are Jay Ryan, our broadcast executive producer, as well as the voice of the Vikings over the PA system here. We've also got Al Qualman, Tim Perry, and Steve Langford up here in the booth helping with spotting stats and everything that it takes to put a broadcast together. It is a cold, wet, dreary night here in Arlington at Cravens Field on the campus of Lamar High School. Temperature about 48 degrees. It's been raining all day long. Originally, when the front came through last night, the forecast was for everything to clear out by about noon, but it's still sprinkling and dank and that kind of stuff. Joe, how are you doing tonight?
Doing well, Bill, and I think we're in for a treat, and I think it's going to be really, the weather conditions may impact the game, though, however.
Definitely so, and it'll be interesting, and we'll get into some of the player stuff here in a little bit, but Sam Houston running where they switch out quarterbacks every so often, apparently, and so it'll be interesting to see if one or the other of them is more apt at playing in the wet weather. You drove over from Dallas just a little while ago, and was it rainy over there as well? I guess
it was misting. It was definitely. I think the weather forecast is for the rain to pick up a little bit later, but it was clearly misting all the way through, and it looks like it's sort of like kind of a haze. That's kind of a foggy haze. That's kind of over the field, and it's going to be interesting to see how, like I said, it affects the play. And you're right, we don't know which of these quarterbacks that Sam Houston uses is going to be the better equipped to handle this type of weather condition.
Definitely so. I drove in from Frisco. Usually I'm just 3 minutes away at my house, but I was at a youth worker conference over in Frisco, and same thing, just coming down. It was just kind of wet and nasty, and apparently what happened was the system stalled out and it's just kind of hovering over North Texas and spinning right now, so hence we're still experiencing some of the wet weather. At least it's not a downpour like it was last night and early this morning. So though it is wet, with a turf field that's got good drainage, so that shouldn't be too bad. It will be kind of slick, but like you say, the footballs are going to get wet. The quarterbacks, the receivers, everyone's going to have to adapt to that. Just so people know, the kickoff tonight has been delayed until 7:10 p.m. from 7 o'clock Central Time because of transportation issues getting the Sam Houston team over here. They are on site. They're here. They've been warming up, but we're just going to be 10 minutes delayed on everything. But we've got quite a few things to talk about here. Joe, why don't you go over some of the offensive stats you've put together for the Sam Houston Texans?
Yeah, absolutely, Bill. It looks like, as you mentioned, Sam Houston uses two quarterbacks. One of them is Omari Milton, and Omari Milton, he's thrown for 594 yards. He's 34 of 82, so it's not a high percentage, but he's got more yardage than Justin Tone. Justin Tone's got 377 yards. He's thrown for 4 touchdowns, but he's got a higher percentage. He's thrown over 50%, completed over 50% of his passes. As far as running backs are concerned, the primary running back that Sam Houston uses is Xavier Thomas. And Xavier Thomas is run for 671 yards in the 6 games that they've played. So he's the guy to look for. And depending on the weather situation, they may keep it on the ground a little bit more. So, he's going to be a key factor, I think, for the Texans. They also use Jiden Holly, and he's run for 270 yards for the Texans. So, he will be, he may be used more in a backup role. When they do throw the ball, they don't throw it, like I said, very often, but, they look to a couple of receivers. The primary receiver for them is a guy by the name of Bryce Oliver. He's caught 20 passes, and in those, with those 20 catches, he's gone for 360 yards. So when he does catch the ball, he catches it, down the field. So he is kind of a big play threat for the Texans. There's another guy by the name of Willie Jones. Willie Jones has caught 11 passes, and again, a big number. He's put up 332 yards with those 11 passes. So it looks like when they're not running the ball and they do throw it and do complete it, which is they don't complete it for a high percentage, but when they do complete it, it's usually a big play. So that's something that the Vikings have got to guard against, is not giving up the big play to the Texans. So I think that's an important key for them going into the game.
Yeah, and it's interesting because Lamar has had a challenge at times with the running game as far as when they're on defense at times. And so that's been a challenge. And I don't think they've ever played an entire game where they had a tough time shutting down the rushing offense. But, if Sam Houston puts out an early charge on this thing and things change up because of the wet weather, that could pose a challenge on Arlington's defense, Lamar's defense. Now, something that's kind of interesting here, Sam Houston comes into the game with a record of 2-5. Doesn't sound impressive. They beat North Mesquite, their opening game of the season, 21-17, a nail-biter there. Their other victory is against Fort Worth Pascal, who I saw Lamar beat 52-0 over in Fort Worth last week. They beat them 48-28, so they put up some points on Pascal, let them score some. Those are the 2 wins. They've lost to Louisville, Dallas Skyline. They've lost district games to Arlington Bowie and then Arlington Martin, a big one, 64-7, and they lost last time to North Crowley, 42-14. So, as Coach DeLay will always say, you got to respect every opponent you have. And Joe, like you were saying, wet weather, who knows what's going to happen with quarterbacks, receivers, and so on.
Right, it's sort of an equalizer, or it can be an equalizer. So you have to kind of watch out for that. And like you said, that if Sam Houston can establish the run a little bit, then you have to watch out for that big play, the pass play where the Vikings start keying on the run because they haven't been able to start it, and then there you go, Sam Houston springs a long pass play on them and gains big yardage. So I think that's going to be something that you're going to have to watch for early on and see whether or not something like that develops. I mean, we're obviously speculating, but that's something to just kind of watch for as the game goes along.
Well, and something else like that, you talk about like the big pass play that could happen for Sam Houston's offense, catching Lamar's defense possibly asleep, flat, whatever. I talked to Coach DeLay about this on the coaches show earlier this week when we did that, and I mentioned, and he always says every question's fair game on that coaches show. I noticed at the game against Pasco last week, when the Lamar Vikings came out on the field to begin the game, they seemed flat. They didn't seem as energized when they burst through the tunnel and through the sign, and when they go most of the way down the field, take their knee for their moment, whatever. And they came out a little flat at the beginning of the game, and I just, they can't afford to do that against anyone, but you never want to get behind in a game no matter who the opponent is. So hopefully they come out energized, they come out ready, they're not looking past this team, and they're and motivated to play a strong defense from the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a challenge when you're playing a team that seems on paper to be inferior to you, and you just want to come out and handle your business, and it's it can be difficult to do that, and so you want to get off to a good start and not let a team like this that, like I said, on paper seems to be inferior to you, get off to a start where you find yourself behind early, and then you're scrambling, and you give the other team the I guess the impression that, hey, we're in this game and we can win this game.
Definitely so. Well, speaking of the Vikings, they come in with a record of 6-1. They're only lost to Martin, the crosstown rival, one of the two main rivals here in AISD in the city of Arlington. That was a few weeks ago. They've rebounded back from that. They've, of course, it's been some of the easier opponents, if you will, some big wins, but at least they're winning big when they're supposed to. Now, the penalty bug has hit Lamar in some of these games, and some of those are very unnecessary penalties. And I've talked to Coach DeLay about that also, and they talk to the players at the time during the week, and they're working on getting the team disciplined in the areas where it needs to be. And it's not a big systemic problem, but that's one of those things they're definitely going to have to clean up before they hit the tougher opponents toward the end of the season, like Bowie and Lamar, and get polished up and ready for a playoff run. So, but on offense, we've seen Trayvon West, and again last week he made some great catches. Cam Brady makes some great catches, and Jack Dawson again doing his job throwing and rushing. And I still love to watch a quarterback who will fight for every yard. Rare is the time you see Jack Dawson drop and slide, and he tucks his shoulder and he goes for it. So it looks like we're about ready to have the national anthem. We'll turn. Oh, not yet. I'm sorry. School songs are going on, and then so we'll. I saw Jace get back on his feet, and I thought he was going to put his hand over his heart, but not yet. Oh, the teams aren't out on the field yet.
He might be having some sort of a cardiac arrest, so we have to watch him in the back card.
Could be. Yeah, he's talking about after watching the Mustangs. Your SMU Mustangs.
Yeah, they gave me a little bit of a scare last night because they let a Houston team hang around until they finally put the game away. But it was all the way down to the wire.
And, of course, at the risk of over-bragging about our Lamar alumni, Shane Buechele lighting it up over there on the hill, as you say, and they say offensively. And it was fun listening to the commentators on ESPN talk about how he has made a big difference in that team. And on the field, but something else they showed during halftime, they showed him at the buses as the team was getting on the buses to head over to the stadium, and he's the last player to get on one of the buses. He slaps hands with every player that gets on the buses and gets people pumped up. What a team player, what a great example, Yeah,
well, the interesting thing you said, making a difference. I mean, one of the commentators indicated that, it's been mentioned that he has been recognized, at least by some people at ESPN and other places, as making the most difference of any player that has transferred or has been added to a college team this year in all of NCAA.
Not just SMU, but anywhere you're saying, yeah.
Anywhere that he single-handedly has made the most difference. Now, obviously that's subjective and you don't really know, but
the stats and the records don't lie.
Certainly certainly, I mean, when you take the team that SMU had last year and you add, they've had some additions, but you add him to it, and now they're 8-0 and they're ranked 16th in the country. I mean, you can't ignore that. I don't think you can ignore that. So.
And they've got a lot of transfers still on that team. People come working their way back into playing there and getting some playing time where they wouldn't at other places. So that does say a lot.
Right. Exactly. So, we'll have to see what happens and how this impacts their recruiting for next year and for years, in the next couple of years. Because if you can continue on this path, then you maybe finally, after all of these years, get yourself back into a position where you have a legitimate program as opposed to what's happened over the last
30 years.
30 years, yeah.
Yeah. Well, going back to the Lamar offense a little bit, and thanks for indulging us on kind of bragging about one of our alumni there, but an interesting phenomenon, not just bragging on a random player kind of thing, but the Caleb Phillips and Anthony Williams, the tandem running backs, have also been making such a huge impact on the offense for Lamar. They both are guys that can jet sweep around, run up the middle if the line blows holes for them, and so on. Well, the captains are heading out to the middle of the field, and the captains tonight for the Lamar Vikings are going to be number 7, of course, the quarterback Jack Dawson, number 10, Harold West, number 19, that's his brother Trayvon West, and then, of course, number 8, James Grondo. The coin toss is about to happen here.
For Sam Houston,
they're all shaking hands, getting some instructions by the officials.
Isaiah Anderson. Number 71, Eric Martinez.
But, Joe, it'll be interesting to see also how sure-footed the rushing game will be on the wet turf. Granted, there's no puddles. They've got excellent drainage here, but it will be interesting to see.
Slick. I mean, that's the thing. You can't, you just don't know how they're going to handle that situation, and we'll find out pretty early on, I think.
Well, and this is the first, really, I guess, cold weather, wet weather game. It was a little chilly over in Fort Worth last week for the Pascal game. All right, so Lamar has won the won the coin toss. They're going to defer their decision until the second half, their option. So we'll find out in a minute, get verification, but I'm going to guess Sam Houston will be receiving.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a good game.
All right. Viking 1 deferred.
So Sam Houston will receive the opening kickoff, defending the south end zone, moving right to left. If you're looking at your phone or other device, Lamar will kick, defending the north end zone. And, of course, most likely, I say most likely, they will receive the second half kickoff. Now, this is something I talked to Coach DeLay about. There was a couple weeks ago at the Trimble Tech game where Lamar had won or deferred till the second half. They won the coin toss. They kicked at the opening of the game, but then when it came time for the second half, we saw them kick again.
Right.
And I asked
they were up quite a
bit, yeah. And I asked Coach DeLay, I said, hey, obviously you kicked twice. He goes, yeah, we've talked to the coaches, we'll talk to the officials and make sure no one's caught by surprise. And I said, has anyone ever refused that offer to receive the ball twice in a game? He goes, not in 25 or so years of him coaching football has he ever seen a team deny the opportunity to receive twice in a game. Well, the Vikings are coming out onto the field, crashing through the tunnel there, following the Thor Corps with the VFND and Lamar Vikings flags. I think it's fun to see the cheerleaders and others with their letter jackets on. It just makes it feel like fall football weather when there's a chill in the air and stuff, and it makes me think of a crisp New England weather.
Yeah,
Joe.
well, I know.
You're from up there.
This would be definitely September weather, not like October weather. But yes, it really does remind you of what it should be for a football game. You'd like to not have the mist in the air, but the cool weather definitely brings you back to what football should be like.
Oh yeah, yep. Well, we're going to get set up here for in just a minute for the national anthem, and we're going to go ahead and turn our mics down, turn up the ambience so you can hear the Lamar Band play the national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I direct your attention, please, to the north end of the field. As the Lamar Band plays our national anthem, please remember those who lead us, those who teach us, and especially those who are protecting us tonight, so we can enjoy a dance game of Friday Night Football. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
Chick-fil-A North Arlington Bowl.
Well, Joe, we have had the national anthem, and as Jay just announced over the intercom system, this is dubbed the Chick-fil-A Bowl. It used to be called the Peach Bowl when Coach Eddie Peach was still here, and he would go up against his son at Arlington, Coach Peach over there. Now they at least once a season have the Chick-fil-A Bowl, and special thanks to the North Arlington Chick-fil-A, all the support they show for Lamar Viking football and all the activities at Lamar High School and the community in general. They are a most generous corporation and franchise to that, indeed. I'd say it's, we were talking about the weather. In a way, I think it's kind of a delightful night for football. Now, of course, the rain's come down. There's a lot of umbrellas up. It's starting to come down a little bit more. But we literally have fair weather fans, apparently, because this is a sparse crowd tonight, and the weather's not so fair. So,
Number 23,
yeah, I've got my umbrella ready in the booth here just in case there's a leak. So.
for Sam Houston,
Well,
number 7, Bryce Oliver.
Blake Ford is set to kick off. And just like that, the kick is up. It's in the air. It's a fairly shallow kick for Blake anyway. He's fielded at the 3-yard line. He'll come out to the 5 to 10, up the far sideline, and he'll be taken out of bounds at about the 17, 18-yard line.
Yeah, you really didn't get much momentum on that kick. He just
Tackled by Thomas, Braxton Thomas.
Looks like number 2, Braxton Thomas, was responsible for the tackle down there on the kickoff return. Sam Houston will start off first and 10 at their own 18-yard line. Okay, it looks like Amari Milton is going to be the starting quarterback, Joe. Now, I think number 11 is in there.
Number 11.
Here's a handoff to the right side. He'll be pretty much stuffed at the line of scrimmage. He'll get about 3 yards out to the 21-yard line. Amari Milton was the ball carrier.
So they're playing both of them at the same time, Bill. They're playing Milton and Tone at the same time.
Yeah, it looks like 9 is set up in the quarterback position. 11 just off the line of scrimmage. There's a handoff over the right side. He's going to try to string it out, and he's not going to get anywhere. That's going to be number 4, Jiden Holly, and he'll get a loss of a yard back to the 20-yard line.
Just swarming defense, Bill. The Vikings were all over that play.
Harrison Griffith made the tackle. Joe, last week he had 2 interceptions and a fumble recovery. Harrison Griffith did in that Pascal game. He had a light-up night, and he's already made a tackle here on the opening drive. 3rd and 8 for the Texans on their own 20-yard line. Here's a handoff over the right side. Not going to get very far. Looks like about 2 yards out to the 22. That's going to be Jiden Holly again. Looks like their third leading rusher. And that's going to be 4th down and about 6 or so.
Number 3. It's 4th down and 5. Punter is.
I think Tone is the punter.
Yeah, the punter should be number 11, Justin Tone, I believe.
Number 11, Tone to punt.
And so they didn't even attempt to pass. It didn't look like they were even interested in passing.
No,
the
and
ball at
everything
all.
was up to the right-hand side, off center, and a couple times tried to string it out. Quick punt. It's almost blocked. There was a little contact on the punter, but he didn't go down. The punt, I lost it. It looks like he got shanked, and it was going out of bounds.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see where they're marking it. It's like
Yeah.
at the 34? No.
No, at the 30-yard line.
It's
Wow.
at the 30-yard line.
Okay, I see the head judge talking to Coach DeLay. So
Yeah.
1st and 10 Vikings at the Texan 30-yard line, so set up and
I couldn't tell
excellent.
if he got a piece of that, if someone got a piece of that.
I
or if
thought he
missed it.
did, but either way, it came over towards this side of the field.
The lights are, shining off the field, the turf, and so it's kind of tough to even see.
Jack Dawson at quarterback. He'll hand it off to Caleb Phillips straight up the middle. He gets across the 20 down to about the 17-yard line. And that's going to be
18-yard line.
There wasn't anybody
13-yard gain
there
to
wasn't
the
anybody within 3 yards.
17.
Of him,
18 yards
up
on the carry, 1st and 10.
until he got
Lamar.
tackled. I mean, he was wide. I mean, he took that and just burst through the center.
1st and 10. Dawson steps back, throws to the flat, and just behind Colt Fuller, the tight end,
Pass intended for
who had
Fuller.
not quite turned around yet. It was a quick pass by Dawson.
Yeah, Dawson threw the ball before Fuller even turned around, and
He almost threw the ball before he was finished calling the play.
yeah.
And Sanders Burrell.
Well, that'll bring up 2nd down and 10 at the 17.
When you said quick pass, that was definitely quick.
All right, Caleb Phillips lined up behind Jack Dawson. Trips right, 3 receivers right, no one left. Dawson steps up to the line of scrimmage, changes the call, steps back now. Here's a snap, handoff to Phillips, straight up the middle. He's got a hole. He'll get down to about the 11-yard line, maybe the 12.
Simon.
Looks like they'll mark him at the 12-yard line. That'll be a gain of about 5 yards, and that's going to set up 3rd down and about 5.
3rd down, 5.
Well, again, right up the middle worked and didn't go for as big of yardage as the first play, but
Yeah, that 13-yarder.
they do not have an answer for that.
Here's a snap.
And
It's
the
handoff
first
to
two.
Phillips around the right end. He'll have a 1st down, and he'll be scoring the first touchdown of the game with 9:08 to go in the 1st quarter, so a 12-yard run.
Well, if it works, just keep going to it.
That's right.
And they just did, right up the middle for Caleb Phillips.
What do they say? If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Well, fairly quick scoring drive. Only 30 yards on that drive, about 4 plays.
Ford to attempt the point after. Dawson will hold.
Preston Gomez is the deep snapper here for the extra point. Jack Dawson will hold. Blake Ford to kick. Here's a snap. The hold. The kick is up, and it is good. It's 7-0.
Good.
Early on here, less than 3 minutes into the game.
All set up by that either blocked or shanked punt. We don't know because
Yeah.
we really couldn't see.
But there was definite pressure on him, and so either way, set up the Vikings in excellent
No
position.
question about it. They got tremendous pressure on the punter.
4 plays, 2 first downs. Lamar 7, Sam Houston 0.
Joe, you want to get the scoring drive for us
Well,
there?
it was a very quick. 52 seconds. They had 2 first downs. There were 4 plays on that, 3 rushing plays and 1 incomplete pass, and total of 30 yards. And there you go. Very quick and efficient touchdown drive by the Lamar Vikings to score rather easily in the first quarter.
Now, speaking of
Once again,
quick and fast, Joe, what's your favorite rap song of all
All
time?
you need to do is take a picture right
Oh,
now.
my favorite rap song of
All
all time.
time. And I say it because those are usually quick and fast. Mine is
Rapper's
Rapper's
Delight.
That's
Have to
mine
be-
too.
yeah,
You want to
Rapper's
join me in a
Delight.
little bit of that? Now, what you hear is not a test. I'm a rapping to the beat. Oh, wait, this kickoff, sorry. It's a short kick.
Nope, it's in the end zone.
It'll be a touchback.
Short kick into the end zone. I lost the ball in the sky while I was busy rapping to the beat.
Perhaps you should be paying attention to the game as opposed to rapping.
You know, because you see, I'm not Wonder Mike, and I'd like to say hello. Oh, well, I tried.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, at church they asked me to sing solo. Solo, no one can hear me.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the Texans are going to start off 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
That was a good try, though, Bill.
Thank you. It's a pass to the flat. It's short hopped to number 7, the intended receiver. That'd be Bryce Oliver. And then number 10, Harold West, was covering.
Defender for Lamar.
And I'll tell you, Joe, I think we said this before, Harold West, number 10, is not going to live in the shadows of his older brother, Trayvon West, the receiver. He's making his own name. Handoff straight up the middle over the right side. He'll get past the line of scrimmage out to about the 30-yard line, maybe a hair past it.
Yeah, that definitely was their best play.
That's going to be Jaden Hawley, the ball carrier. They come up kind of quick, twins left, single right. It's a handoff again up the middle. He's stuffed at the line of scrimmage and not going to get but more than a half a yard, and that'll bring up, Joe, another 4th down for the Texans.
Ball carrier, Holly. Number 77 for Lamar.
It's pretty much been handoff to Jaden Hawley most of the time. Now, they did have a handoff to the alternate quarterback on the first play of the game.
Right, they tried that one pass play and didn't really have anything there. Just threw it into the ground, basically, and just can't get anything going offensively.
Now we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens here on this punt. Now, Trayvon West for the Vikings, quote unquote, deep at his own 45. Here's a snap. He does get this one away more cleanly. It bounces at the 50-yard line or so.
Number 11,
It went out of bounds actually at the Texan 49-yard line, so it didn't even make it to midfield.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the wet ball. There was pressure again.
It was a 19-yard punt, and so they're really not getting anything from their from special teams.
So the Vikings will be set up 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line, just inside Texan territory. They lead 7-0, just under 8 minutes to go. Got trips right. That for those who are kind of first timers, 3 receivers right, triples to the right, and Caden Phillips, the running back behind Dawson. Caden Phillips takes it, goes over the right guard across midfield to the 43-yard line. So that looks like 6 yards.
It's basically the same play, Bill, over and over again, just going straight up the gut, and Sam Houston just cannot stop him.
Yep. Number 27, Jaden Williams, made the tackle for the Texans there. It's 2nd down and 4 for the Vikings. Again, trips right. Caleb Phillips in the backfield. It's a handoff to Phillips, this time over the left guard. He's got more room, 35-30, dragging 3 players with him across the 30-yard line to about the 28.
Well, they're just picking whether to go over the right guard or the left guard, right?
Yeah.
But pretty much up the center.
They're sharing the burden, or if you will, with both sides of the defensive line.
At this point, there's no really any reason to even throw the ball. Just kind of hand it off and see what happens.
I almost feel bad for the receivers in a way because they come out here ready to play ball, and there's not going to be that many pass plays. But there's a flag on the play. Both lines moved, and we're going to see it's offsides with contact against the Texans. So that'll move the ball 5 more yards, and 1st and 5 for the Vikings, now inside the 25-yard line at the 23.
To the 23-yard line.
So the Vikings need to get to the 18-yard line for a 1st down. Again, trips right. Caden Phillips in the backfield behind Dawson. Now Trayvon West in motion to the other side. Dawson steps back to throw. He throws over toward the goal line towards Cam Brady, but he missed his target way in front of Brady.
Yeah, he was, and there were 3 Sam Houston defenders right there, and so.
And Joe, if someone's triple covered, someone else is not being guarded, would you say?
Yeah, I don't know what Jack Dawson was thinking on that particular play.
Well, he might have just been thinking that was the design we're throwing to Cam Brady, and maybe there wasn't a choice built into it. Now we've got twins right, single left. That's Cam Brady on the far side, Trayvon West on this side. Here's a snap. It's Caleb Phillips up the middle, and he'll get stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Somebody just figured out what to do when they hand off to Cam Phillips up the middle.
Let's stack the box and see if we can stop that thing. Leandre Roberts is the other receiver out there for the Vikings right now. So it's Trayvon West, Leandre Roberts on this side, Cam Brady lined up on the far side. Joe, is 3rd and a long 4, short 5. They may throw here on this one.
Tackled by a host of Texans on that last week. That's from the left.
Here's the snap.
Well, it's
no,
a
it's
lot
a
of room right
handoff.
here.
And Phillips is trying to find a place to go. He tried to bounce off the right guard, right tackle, came back over to the center, and he's going to be possibly 6 inches shy of the yard to make, and it is. It's 4th and less than a yard.
And I suspect the Vikings will go for it.
Yeah, they're lined up. It's, I think in other situations they would give Blake Ford the opportunity to kick a field goal. He kicked a 42-yarder last week over at Farrington Field in Fort Worth. That thing would have gone at least 60 yards. But in the wet weather, why risk it? Here we go. Snap. Dawson keeps it around the left end, and he's going to be stopped shy of the yard to make. And the Texans have held, and they'll take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
That always drives me crazy, and we've talked about it before. How when you're that close and you're playing out of the shotgun, and that's all they practice.
Yeah.
If you're not under center, if you're under center, you have the real opportunity to make those plays. But so many teams, pros, college, high school, they just run their offense out of the shotgun, and you're starting so far back.
I wish so much
really
they would just
difficult.
practice that goal line run up, from under center and just lunge forward. So 1st and 10 for the Texans. Here's a snap. Quarterback throws to this side. It's caught by number 13. That's a 24. He's met pretty quickly by number 4, Elijah Crenshaw, and number 10, Harold West. Number 28, Keswin Kinney, also over there.
8 yards on the pass. 2nd down, 2.
So that's an 8-yard play. That's the biggest play of the game so far for the Texans. 2nd down and 2 for them now at their own 28-yard line. They've got twins left on the short side of the field, single right. Here's a snap. It's a handoff up the middle. He'll be met immediately by James Douglas and then others.
Down.
Forward progress out to the 30. I don't know. Was that generous, or do you think he got there?
It was a little generous, but,
Leading the charge for the Vikes. Number 9.
First down of the game.
Yep, 1st and 10 for the Texans. The ball on this hash mark. They've got twins on the short side of the field. Now running back goes in motion. It's a pass into the flat. It's caught at the 35, 40, 45, and he'll get close to midfield. Number 4, Elijah Crenshaw, was there to help begin the tackle process.
This is kind of what we talked about, Bill. I mean, the Vikings had an opportunity to really go down there and score and put this game, really affect the momentum of the game. And now
1st and 10 at their own 49.
Got plenty of time to throw
going
the
deep
ball
on this sideline, and that's going to be a flag. And if they could throw 2, I think they would, because Harold West and Elijah Crenshaw both were basically mugging the receiver down there.
2 nice blocks by them. 2 guys blocking him completely out of bounds.
My favorite thing, though, I think of all that was Elijah Crenshaw turns around like with his hands there. What did I do? I think he was maybe thinking, well, the other guy did it, But that was one of those most obvious calls you can make, I think, as far as interference goes. 2 guys on, and neither one turns their head around for the ball. Interesting there.
Milton had plenty of time to throw that ball.
Oh, yeah.
There was just no pressure on him whatsoever. And, we talked about
Illegal man downfield, pass interference.
Oh, so actually we've got offsetting penalties. Illegal receiver downfield for the Texans, so it's going to be a do-over.
That's a huge break for the Vikings.
That would have been 15 yards, automatic first down.
Right.
So now it's 1st and 10 again at the 49-yard line inside Texan territory. Number 9, Omari Milton is the quarterback. He's got Hawley behind him. Twins right, single left. Here's the snap. Fake handoff. Now he's being chased out of the pocket, and he's going to be sacked. Fumble. Ball's on the ground. It'll be recovered by the... And it is recovered by the Vikings.
Lamar, James Douglas.
James Douglas going to get credit with the fumble recovery there, and he gets the turnover belt here on the sideline. It was almost a tackle, and I think, if I'm correct, it was Keswin Kinney who was pursuing. The ball came loose, and then James Douglas was able to get there on top of it. So now the Vikings back in business.
Milton really had no chance. He turned around, and he was being swarmed.
Yeah.
And as he ran, tried to get away, he just lost the ball.
First and 10 for the Vikings at the Texan 38. Dawson steps back. He's got time. He throws over the middle, in and out of the hands of Trayvon West at about the 20-yard line.
Intended for Trayvon West. Incomplete.
He really had some time. He wasn't getting a lot of pressure. He was able to stay in the pocket also. But he fired a bullet, and that looked like when he used to pitch over there at the Lamar Viking Diamond. That was a fastball. Zipped through. Yeah, just as Steve Langford just saying, a little bit high out of the reach of Trayvon West, but Trayvon West pretty close to 8 feet tall. All right, Twins right, single left. Dawson throws to the far sideline. It's caught. Nope.
Incomplete.
He bobbled it.
Pass is incomplete.
He was open too, you know.
Yeah, that's
This was
Cam
not
Brady.
Just was not a very well thrown
Third down,
ball.
10.
Yeah, not quite
Didn't
short
give the
hop.
receiver,
but-
yeah, didn't give the receiver a chance to catch that ball. And if he had caught the ball, he would have been able to turn up and get the first down, I think.
Joe, do you get the idea, and this is just my observation maybe, but is Dawson throwing a little bit more quickly than he might need to?
Yeah, it looks like he's turning around and throwing it and not giving.
He's kind of
the
hurrying
receiver to
himself.
Get
Well, here's a snap. Dawson rolls this side. Now he throws over to this side, in and out of the hands of Trayvon West. Now that one I think was catchable.
Definitely catchable.
Closest defender was number 3, Javion Carr. And Joe, that's going to bring up 4th and 10.
Yeah, it's really interesting because we're at the 3:51 mark of the first quarter, and it's only 7-0. In a game that you would think.
Well, and there's been chances. Hey, the Vikings are going for it here on 4th and 10. Dawson steps back. He's got time. He throws down this side. Trayvon West is the intended receiver, and that's going to be an interference call. Number 24 is the defender there who was all over him, Eric Suarez. Joe, in basketball, they call that a good foul, I think.
Yeah.
Because had he not messed with him, I think Trayvon West was hopefully going to catch that one. It was definitely on target. But that'll be 15 yards
Pass interference against
and an automatic first down. So that'll set the Vikings up. That goes down as a 4th down conversion on the penalty. And here's the official march off now, and here's the official. He crosses the 30, crosses the 25, and he's down to the 23-yard line. So first and 10 for the Vikings.
First and 10.
They've got twins right, single left.
They've thrown on every play this series.
Now everyone was set. Now Dawson gets a new signal. He gets up to the line of scrimmage, barks it out. Not too far behind the line. Steps, throws over to the far side. Cam Brady catches this one. He's across to the first down into the 10-yard line or so.
Well, that was the play that they tried earlier where he kind of threw behind the receiver and didn't get it to him. This time he really got it to him and allowed him to turn upfield and pick up the first down.
Jaden Williams eventually ran him out of bounds there. So first and 10 now for the Vikings at about the 12-yard line. Handoff to Caleb Phillips up the middle. This time he's got room across the 5. He's still pulling guys down to about the 3-yard line. And that's going to be about a 9-yard gain for Caleb Phillips. That offensive line, Joe, is doing some incredible stuff, and I want to give some love to those guys. Number 66, Johnny Olvera down there on the offensive line. Number 71, David Salas. These are some of the guys that don't get their name called a lot, but they are breaking some holes for these running backs. Twins right, single left. Dawson steps, gives it to Caleb Phillips over the left tackle, and he's in the end zone. Touchdown Vikings. So a nice mix of throwing and running on that drive, or actually a lot of
Really, they threw
plays.
except for those last 2 plays. They threw just about every play, and so when it came down to it, they went back to the handoff to Caleb Phillips up the middle, either to the right or the left a little bit, and he just took it in.
One of the most effective plays on that drive was the interference call, and it was obvious, and that's probably what kept Trayvon West from catching that ball. Here comes the extra point attempt. Preston Gomez the snap. Dawson the hold. The kick by Ford is up, and it is good. And your new score is Vikings 14, Texans 0, with 3:02 to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, it's interesting because what Sam Houston had stopped him on 4th down, and they went for it and got the interference call. But up to then, it was about 3 minutes and 50 seconds left in the first quarter, and it was a 7-0 game. And like we said, momentum had kind of almost shifted a little bit to Sam Houston, even though they hadn't played that well. But the Vikings go for it on 4th down, get the interference call, and the game completely changes.
You got a scoring drive for us there, I think, Joe.
So it's 3 minutes and 2 seconds. It's 38 yards, 7 plays, 5 passing plays, 2 rushing plays, and it took a minute and 4 seconds. Actually, it was a minute and 4 seconds on that scoring drive. And the big play, obviously, was the pass interference play that kept the drive alive and allowed the Vikings to go in and score on 2 consecutive rushing plays by Caleb Phillips.
Well, Blake Ford, the sophomore kicker, is set to kick off for the Vikings. Here's the kick. It's fairly shallow this time. It's high. It's fair caught at the 14-yard line by number 13,
That's Willie Jones.
Willie Jones.
We're 3 for 3 on kickoff.
I was just about to say, Jay, seriously, I was about to start it. Blake Ford is 3 for 3 on kickoffs tonight.
Lamar.
Now our scoreboard operators are pushing a yellow jacket over towards our part of the booth up here. And I think I just sent it back to them. I'm not sure.
Holly takes the handoff.
So when they say, what's the latest buzz up here, we have a new answer. All right, with the fair catch, the Texans started at their own 25, got 1 yard on the first play, a 2nd and 9 at their own 26. We got distracted by the yellow jacket up here. That's a screen pass to the far area. He'll be met immediately, and it looks like he'll lose a yard.
Yeah.
So it'll be back to 3rd and 10. Looks like number 7, Bryce Oliver, made the catch, and then number 32, Jerry Hood. First time we've called his name tonight, I think, and that's another one of those great defensive backs.
Bryce Oliver is their leading receiver, and that's the first time I think that we've called his name, that they've tried to get him the ball.
True. It's a pass to the far sideline. It's caught at the 30-yard line.
Pass is complete to number 7, Bryce Oliver.
But Joe, all that did was get him, 5 yards?
5 yards, yeah.
And that brings up 4th and 4 to 31. Yeah, 4th and 4. So, it's interesting. Were they hoping he'd be able to catch it and run, or they just trying to get as far down the field as they can before they punt? But anyway, it was an interesting call to only go for about half of what was needed. Trayvon West back at his own 45. Oh, it was a high snap. The punter does get it away with some pressure, and it looks like it was Harold West who came in putting most of the pressure on the punter. Number 32, Jerry Hood, and number 3, James Douglas were back there pressuring the punter as well.
They're having, Sam Houston's having an incredibly difficult time with the punting situation. Pressure and high snaps. They are.
The Vikings are starting off at their deepest point of the game tonight at their own 46-yard line, 1st and 10. 1:52 to go in the first quarter. Twins right, single left.
In the backfield behind Dawson.
Dawson takes a snap. It's a handoff. No, it's a fake handoff. He throws down the field. Looks like some. Cam Brady catches it to 20, the 10, the 5. Touchdown Vikings. One play drive, 54 yards on the catch.
I don't
it looked like he was held.
Yeah, I don't think we need the drive sheet on this one.
Let me see there. 54 yards, one play.
He was being kind of held up on the play, but he broke free and got hauled in the pass with a touchdown.
I love it when a receiver fends off someone that's either holding or interfering and still makes the call, and they don't even bother to throw the flag because what are they going to do?
Well, it was a nice play action pass by the Vikings, and Jack Dawson faked out a lot of people, including you.
Yes, sir.
So,
well, the extra point kick is up and good, and your new score: Vikings 21, Texans 0. Well, Joe, this is a little bit more of what we expected earlier in the game. But it seems like the Vikings are getting more efficient, especially on the passing game as time goes on here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jay, can you interpret that drive chart there? Got to thank Tim Perry, who prepares these drive charts for us.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to have a difficult time with this one.
This year we've had lots of
That-
54 yards.
yeah.
He,
So someone's challenged there.
apparently someone is not a math major because they have 46 yards here, and it's 54 yards.
Well, they were at a 46-yard line. We'll give Tim that much.
It was one play. It was a pass, and it took 8 seconds.
And technically, it was a first down because you get a first down in stats when you score. But don't short Jack Dawson and Cam Brady on their passing and receiving yards. All right, we're ready for the kickoff. Blake Ford has the ball teed up at the 40. And I love James Douglas out there. He's trying to get the crowd riled up. It's a short kick. It rolls and it's fielded at the 30-yard line. It kind of got out of the hands of the Texan, but he smothered it at the 30-yard line. So 1st and 10.
Number 2 is responsible for that, Juan Garza. 1st and 10, Sam Houston.
Nine's quarterback, 45.
Number 2, Juan Garza, was the Sam Houston Texans.
I'd start running the play right now. Forget the ref. Just grab that ball and snap it.
Milton in the shot.
There you go. Amari Milton is the quarterback out there. Twins right, single left. It's a keeper on the zone read, and he'll get out to about the 35-yard line before he stopped, and
Milton on the
he doesn't ever actually go down, it looks like. But that was a
That
nice
was a
play.
nice fake. Nice play run by Sam Houston.
Actually
on
out to the
that.
36-yard line, so a 6-yard run
36.
by Milton. Makes me think of that movie Office Space. Okay, Milton.
Lots of Vikings
2nd
in
down
the
and 4.
Griffin.
Where's your stapler?
That's right. It's a swing. It's a swing like 3,500. Here's a snap. It's a pass to the flat on the far sideline, caught at the
Sideline
38-yard line.
to number 13 on the catch, Willie Jones.
So there you go.
Braxton Thomas
third
ran
two.
him out of bounds.
Number 2.
All right, it's 3rd down and 2. One of the best 3rd down attempts they've had here.
3rd down 2.
Twins right, single left.
Ooh.
And now a penalty flag on the play, and that's going to be tough for the Texans, it looks like, if it's illegal procedure on them, where they had 3rd and 2, one of their best opportunities of the night to make a 3rd down conversion. The officials are talking about what happened down there.
Let's give him the ball.
Shouldn't have to talk about no flags. Pick it up.
Nope. Okay.
And, he starts to march it up. Illegal procedure against the
False start on the Texans.
Yeah,
Texans.
you're right, Bill. It's just one of those unfortunate things for the Texans that
3rd down,
you're
7.
starting to move the ball a little bit, and you make a mistake like that. You just can't afford to do that.
Well, so here they go back out there. Jaden Hawley is the running back behind the quarterback, Amari Milton. He's got twin receivers to the right, one to the left. Barking out the signals. Here's a snap. Milton steps back. He's looking for a receiver. Now he's going to have to run. He gets up across the 35, and he'll have a first down at about the 41-yard line. And, Joe, I got to like this. There was kind of a cheer of support up here in the booth by everyone when he got that first down. Now they're going into hurry-up mode. 1st and 10 at their own 41.
I think it
There's a
makes
snap.
sense to do
Hand
that
off up
anyway.
the middle. He's going to get 3-4 yards up to the 44-yard line, so that's about 3 yards on the gain. So, yeah, the quick offense there. Number 44, Joey Hartley, was in there along with number 28.
Right, I think that's a smart move. You got to try to, keep
Yes.
the tempo some way.
Like you said earlier, snap it before the ref gets the ball set. Here's a snap. Throws to the far sideline. It's in and out of the hands of number 13, Willie Jones.
Willie Jones.
Defending over there is Jerry Hood
There was Sir Dora.
for the Vikings.
3rd down 7.
So now all of a sudden, Joe, they're back in 3rd down and 7 situation like they were just 3 plays ago. Twins right, single left. Now 2 in the backfield with the quarterback, Milton. He'll take the snap. He fakes the handoff. It's over the middle, in and out of the hands of Willie Jones.
For Jones.
It's
Joey
two
Hartley.
in and out of the hands of Willie Jones. They might stay out there and just run this.
Joey Hartley was the defender there. Colt Fuller's over here on the sideline 4th and 7, they're going to go for it. Twins right, single left. Here's a snap. He rolls right. He's looking for a receiver, lets it go. It's a tip drill, and
I think he caught it.
I think he did, and he's going to be just short of the first down at the 50-yard line.
Yeah, he's right at midfield.
He had to get to the Viking 49, and they're marking it at the 50. The ball's going to go over on downs. But that was a heck of a catch there.
Yeah, it was a very nice catch. That was that rollout to the right that he actually almost got sacked on where he fumbled. It was the same play that they'd run earlier where he lost the ball on the fumble. But he kept his composure and found the receiver, and it was a nice catch by the receiver.
Well, the Vikings are going to start off at their own 50-yard line, and the reason I say their own, the ball is just on their side of the 50-yard line. Officially at the midfield stripe, 1st and 10. Trips right, single left. Dawson looks back, bootlegs, is caught by Trayvon West at the 50. He's across the 45-40. He's got a first down and more. Now he's accelerating, and this is going to be another one-play drive for the Vikings. This time, Joe, they didn't throw deep. They threw to the flat pretty much.
Right. And Trayvon West did the rest. I mean, that's all he needed to do.
Yeah.
He got the ball, and then he just accelerated and left everybody in the dust. I don't need the score play.
You mean a scoring drive?
Scoring drive.
What did you say?
50 yards.
And that happened as time expired. 27-0, waiting for the point after attempt here. Preston Gomez, the deep snap. I sat with Preston's family at part of the all the game over there in Fort Worth last week. It was fun to visit with his family. And the kick is up and good.
Yeah.
Yeah, good math there, whoever did that one from the 50.
That was a little bit simpler math for him. That was 50 yards. It was one play.
Okay.
The pass.
It was?
And it took 3 seconds.
Officially.
Because
time expired with 3 seconds from the...
Right.
At North Collins tailgate.
Well, the new score is Lamar 28, Sam Houston 0, as the first quarter expired.
And we say officially because if he ran the 50 yards in 3 seconds, then we'd have a scoop.
Oh, yeah. We would definitely have some scouts from track, football, and everything out here to see that happen.
Greet you, and as long as you show an ID.
Of course, he didn't catch it at the 50, but...
Well, he actually caught it inside with the 49. Did he go about 51 yards, or was he on the other side? So he went about 48, 49 on the running, but that was a heck of a deal there. Other games in the area of interest: Bowie leads Pascal 27-6 with 8 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the second quarter. Arlington High leads North Crowley with 7 minutes to go. That's 14-7 in favor of Arlington in the second quarter. And Trimble Tech trails Martin 16-0. And all I can guess is Martin is going for 2 on touchdowns against Trimble Tech, and I just don't get that. The kickoff is fielded by number 13.
Number 13, Willie Jones on the return.
Well, the head linesman is trying to talk to one of the Lamar coaches, and maybe, I wonder if he's saying, I think the Lamar coaches might be asking if he called fair catch, but there's some conversation going on between some of the Lamar coaches. Now, Coach DeLay saying to his players, y'all get out of the way, get off the field. I'm talking to the officials here. But he ran backwards with the ball, and so apparently no fair catch signal was called, and he ran backwards, and he'll be down at the 13-yard line. So, Joe, here's just another unfortunate kind of happening for the Texans. They'll be starting at their own 14, 1st and 10. Twins right, single left. Here's a snap. Play action. He's going for it all, and it's going to be thrown out of bounds, out of reach at about the 50-yard line.
Yeah, he kind of ran by the defender. I mean, he had a little bit of a step on him, a little open, but
yeah, Elijah Crenshaw was the defender there, and that the intended receiver, Bryce Oliver, for the Texans. That ball was launched in the air pretty well. It just out of reach and out of bounds. 2nd down and 10 for the Texans at their own 14-yard line.
Second and 10 from the 14.
Twins right, single left. Holly in the backfield. He'll take the handoff this time. He's got some room over the right guard up to the 20-yard line, so that's a 6-yard gain for Holly. 7-yard gain to the 21.
By number 44, Joey Hartley.
Joey Hartley was there to make the tackle for the Vikings.
4.
Gain of 7 yards.
So 3rd down and 3 now for the Texans. Now this, if they don't get a penalty, if they just do everything right, they have a chance here to get a 1st down in their own territory. Twins right, single left. Here's the snap. Throws to the far sideline. He's caught it, and it's 1st down at the 25-yard line.
1st and 10, Texans.
Well, there's a 1st down on this drive for the Texans.
There you go.
They've got some momentum going.
At the 25-yard line.
So 1st and 10 at their own 25. Twins right, single left. Holly in the backfield behind Milton. Milton takes the snap, throws to the far sideline, this time in and out of the hands of number 7, Oliver.
And he was hit.
Yep.
Milton was hit.
I think Harold West was over there with some of the pressure and possibly the best coverage. You say Milton was hit in the backfield?
Yes.
But cleanly, apparently. But just hit as soon as he let go of the ball. Well, that's going to bring up 2nd down and 10. Twins right, single left. 2 in the backfield with Milton. High snap. It's a fake handoff, then a reverse. He comes around the 30, 35, 40. And Harold West
Number 7, Bryce.
was running like a track star and caught up with Oliver to finally tackle him at about the 48-yard line inside Viking territory. And number 13 for the Texans, Willie Jones,
So the
he's
Texans,
limping.
Yeah, the Texans pull out a little trickeration.
Yeah, I like it when you say that word, Joe, trickeration. Now, there was a penalty flag on the play. Personal foul against the Vikings.
Going to
And-
tack on some yardage
Yeah,
to that
the officials
long run.
the officials are not mic'd up here at Cravens Field, so we don't know specifics. But there was a personal foul. That'll be added on to the end of the play, so it should put it down to the 34-yard line with the mark-off beginning at the 49-yard line.
It'll be 1st and 10.
And sure enough, 1st and 10. Well, this is Sam Houston's best field position of the game.
Yes.
You're right. None of them's named Mike.
Jay Ryan looking at the list of officials saying, yep, you're right, none of them are named Mike. There's number 4 around the far side. He's across the 30, and he'll be close to a 1st down at the 25-yard line, just about a yard shy. 9 yards on the gain by Jaden Holly out of the backfield. They're in quick tempo.
They're moving quickly.
There's a snap. Holly again. This time he's wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. And Javion Moore is one of those in the backfield, along with number 77, Eric Williams.
Well, you know, I like the up-tempo style and go into that, but that didn't work out for him very well. But I think that's something that they've got to really kind of explore.
There's a snap. It's a zone read. There's a fight over the ball in the backfield. The quarterback keeps it. He breaks one tackle, barrel rolls forward, and he'll be a yard short at the 25.
I thought he was going to get smothered in the backfield.
I did
everything
too.
all around him, and somehow he just escaped like Houdini from that and got over to the 20, got it to the 25, 4th and 1.
That was a tug of war.
He bounced
Now it's
inside.
around
He's
the
got
end across the 20, 15,
he
10.
fumbled it, but
he fumbles out of bounds at about the 12-yard line. Holly, another run around it. Now, Joe, what they're finding out is if they string these plays out more, they've got a better chance. That jet sweep right there by Holly,
You know,
and then the reverse.
the
field.
jet sweep. Exactly.
Hitting him out of
They're
bounds.
not finding much success up the middle, but when they get outside, they're
1st and 10.
and they
Twins-
can get into space.
Now there's timeout on the field called by the Vikings.
Timeout call.
Well, you know,
Lamar.
they're kind of getting winded out there a little bit because between the quick tempo
Let Chick-fil-A
and the yardage just being gained,
your upcoming
Lamar decides, let's call a
holiday
timeout while we're on defense and slow things down here.
What's their offense the last 2 times has had plays of 2 plays.
You had 2 drives of one play,
2
yeah.
plays of 1 play. So,
Yes, that's a good point. The defense has been out there a lot. In fact, you got to wonder, would the defensive coordinator ever go over the offensive coordinator and say, Can you quit these long plays and give our defense a little more break out there?
A great selection of food and drinks available at the concession stand. On your way,
Ball's on the 12-yard line, so it'll be this is going to be an interesting challenge for the Lamar defense to see whether or not they can keep them out of the end zone.
Little shout out to my other brother-in-law, or one of my other ones, Joe, of course, one of my brothers-in-law, and Mel Skaggs is listening to us from his home up in Bartonville. He sent me a message. All right, 1st and 10 for the Texans at the Viking 12-yard line, knocking on the door. Now they've got trips left, no one right. Ball on this hash mark. Here's a snap. It's pressure in the backfield, and it's going to be fumble. And now it looks like the Vikings have recovered. Jerry Hood was chasing the quarterback, stripped the ball away. And let's see, number 3? James Douglas, that's his second fumble recovery in the backfield this tonight.
Just when you think Sam Houston has a chance, they do something just like this.
And you know what's interesting? We can't show video on Friday nights. James Douglas came off the field at the Viking, or the Viking 30-yard line. Then he runs downfield like an airplane to the other 30-yard line in celebration of that fumble recovery. Can't say as I blame him. I think I'd probably run laps too if I got a fumble recovery. Here's a snap. Dawson hands off to Phillips. He strings it out this end to the 20, 25. He'll go out of bounds at the 29-yard line. That'll be 8 yards on the play.
Gain of 8. 2nd and 2.
So there's a little bit of a change. Instead of up the middle over the left or the right, now they come to the far right on a parent jet sweep this way.
Yeah.
2nd down and 2.
Phillips is wondering, what am I doing? Why am I running outside as opposed to right up the
Why did I run 20 yards to gain 8 that time?
I could have just gone up the middle and gotten 14.
Exactly. That's pretty quick math, Joe. 2nd down and 2 at their own 29-yard line. Twins right, single left. 2 in the backfield with Dawson. Here's a snap. It's a handoff to Colt Fuller up the middle. He'll get across the 30. There's a flag on the play. They're going to mark him down with forward progress to about the 31, real close to the line to make. But let's see what the flag is. It was thrown right there in the middle of the scrum.
43 was the tackle.
Number 43 for the Texans led the tackle there, and that's going to be Jacoby Hildreth.
Hildreth leading the charge on the tackle. Here comes the penalty call.
Personal foul face mask against the Texans, so that must have been when Fuller was coming up over the right guard, right tackle. Someone accidentally grabbed a face mask somewhere in there.
Fuller got to the 31
So Fuller got the yard to make, and now they're going to mark 15 yards off, so they ought to be at about the 46-yard line.
So you
1st and 10.
You're determining that was an accidental face mask?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give the benefit of the doubt. What do you think?
Well, I have no idea. I just
okay.
didn't know how you discerned that it was accidental. So.
I'm giving someone the benefit of the doubt,
okay.
assuming that all humans are naturally good,
all right.
Joe. We don't have to go. No, it's 1st and 10 for the Vikings. Dawson steps back, throws to the flat on the far side. Caleb Phillips across the 50, 45, 40 to the 39-yard line. So Caleb Phillips comes out of the running back spot, goes to the far flat, turns around, catches a pass, 16 yards on the play. Actually, 15 yards on the play to the 39-yard line.
Right. He's saying I can get 15 on the screen on the pass to the flat. I could have gotten 14 if I just ran it up the middle.
All right, Dawson with Phillips behind him again. Now they're going to change the play. Twins left. It's Leandre Roberts and Trayvon West this side. Cam Brady to the far side. Here's a snap. Dawson steps. He's looking to this side. Throws in and out of the hands of Cam Brady. A little bit high there, wouldn't you say,
Yeah.
Panama Red?
The intended receiver, incomplete.
You know, Dawson he's thrown a couple of really good balls, but on a couple others he's been off tonight, a little bit off.
He had more time, it seems like, there, but he did throw a pretty good fastball. Well, that'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
2nd down and 10.
For the Vikings. Trayvon West will be the receiver, split right. The ball is on the right hash mark, far side of the field. Cam Brady and Leandre Roberts on this side. Roberts the slot receiver. Here's a snap. Handoff to Phillips. He tries to go off the right guard, comes around to the left side, and he'll get about half a yard, 1 yard.
Number 5, Darden.
Yeah, that
Number
was
5, Quentin Darden, will get credit for the tackle for the Texans.
Yeah, good defense by the Texans on that. They really sniffed that one out. Didn't allow him to break it to the outside to get some additional yardage when he was stopped initially going up the middle.
3rd and 9 will be the play. Chandler Mugalski comes in as a slot receiver on the far side with Trayvon West. Now, West better look out. He looks like he's lined up off sides. Now there's a timeout called by the Texans. So each team has used a timeout here in the first half.
We want to thank our sponsors, RJ Construction.
Hey, Joe, this is a good time to remind people who some of our key sponsors are for Lamar Viking football. RJ Construction, they're one of these leaders, you know, in Arlington and the Metroplex. Re-roofing, I bet they're pretty busy after last week's storm. And you were in the closet up there with Ann and your dog Jax during the sirens going off on Sunday night, weren't you?
Absolutely. We were trying to stay safe when those sirens were going off. And we did not have, we only had a little bit of damage, but we had no power for about a day.
Okay.
So that's about it. But many other people had tremendous damage.
Oh, yeah.
So.
I was flying down to South Texas that Sunday night. Didn't get into my hotel till 2 in the morning that Sunday night. But again, fortunately, all I had to deal with was just a little bit of lack of sleep. Ready to play ball again. Twins right. It's a snap. It's Cade Phillips around the right side off the right end. He'll get across the 30, and he's got a first down at about the 28-yard line. So he gets about 10 yards there. He only needed 9.
Carr, number 3, making the stop.
Tackle is going to be credited to Javion Carr for the Texans. We got Twins left. Chandler Mugal. Trips left now. No one in the backfield. Here's a snap. Dawson's going to go up the middle, and he's going to get tripped up and falls down with only about a 1-yard gain.
Yeah.
If
like
that.
A design play.
Yeah.
Quarterback draw.
Cameron Triplets.
The big boy.
That's why his name's Triplet.
He's a triplet.
So no gain at the 28-yard line, 2nd down and 10. Yeah, they got, again, trips left now. This time, again, like before, Caleb Phillips is one of the receivers. It's a pass to the far side. Trayvon West catches the ball. He'll be taken out of bounds at about the 20-yard line.
Short of the first
That's
down.
going to be an 8-yard gain, and it'll be 3rd down and 2.
Third down.
So if they had trips left, Joe, and then Colt Fuller comes out of the tight end spot and goes over and sort of picks a screen so that Trayvon West became an open receiver in the flat. And that's one of those things, Colt Fuller at that tight end position, sometimes he'll come back, take a handoff, sometimes he'll make a catch, but he's also a good one at blocking for the other teammates. Mugalski in motion, handoff to Phillips, straight up the middle, across the 10-5, touchdown Vikings. Wow.
Plays worked all night, so you might as well just go for it.
You know, and I wonder how much that distracts them. So the Vikings had 3 receivers, trips left. I think it was Mugalski who went in motion across to the other way. Here's a snap, and I wonder how many people are distracted by him doing that, because not that it hasn't happened before, but Caleb Phillips takes the ball, goes over the right guard, and goes all the way in.
Well, I mean, anytime you can have motion, I mean, that obviously impacts the defense. I mean, they don't know what to do, but I think that really helps. It looks like with offsides.
The extra point is good by Blake Ford. He had a little bit of pressure there that time. And I think, is that number 1 or no? That's number 3 over there, Javion Carr for the Texans, that kind of came close to getting a piece of that
I
one.
thought he was offsides, but he did get he got a tremendous break on this. When we rode to the snap and got in there pretty quickly to almost block that kick. Yeah, no, I mean, I think motion. Anytime you have motion, shifting, anything like that, it just throws the defense off completely, because they're reading what they think is going to happen, and then when you shift players, it makes it difficult for those people to keep their assignments.
Joe, what's the scoring drive look like that time?
Well, it's a 2-minute and 28 drive that took 9 plays. There were, looks like, 7 running plays and 2 pass plays. There were 4 first downs. It was 80 yards.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give an
resulting
extra
in
hand
obviously the
to our
touchdown
little Vikings
by
cheerleaders
Caleb
here
Phillips.
on the
They,
sideline. They're
Hey,
joining
some of our other sponsors here to make mention of, in addition to RJ Construction, next court, they'll put any kind of a playing surface you need in your backyard, commercial facility, anything in between. They put a lot of support into the Booster Club, along with North Arlington Chick-fil-A. It's fielded at the 24-yard line, breaks through a crowd, 35-40 across midfield, and he's finally tripped up at the 45. That's going to be number 23, Blake Ford, the kicker, who I'll give him credit for the touchdown-saving tackle. And it was fun to watch him pop up, and everyone comes over giving him some attention and affection there for doing that. And Joe, you don't like it when the kicker has to make the tackle, but you like it when the kicker makes the tackle. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it just was. He looked like he was going to get stopped back, around the 30-yard line or so.
He pushed through the crowd.
He got through there, and then he was off to the races.
Well, the Texans begin at their Viking 43-yard line, 1st and 10. Twins left, single right. It's a handoff up the middle.
Milton hands off
He
to
tries to kind of do a flip over James Douglas. What they call it, the Fallsbury flop or whatever, and high jump. He sort of did that, but after that, when you land, you're not going to be able to run.
Yeah, there's really
no gain on the play.
And
second down and 10, no gain on that play.
Twins left, single right. Now we've got two in the backfield with the quarterback, Milton. The other quarterback, number 11, is back there along with number 4, Jaden Holly.
I'd pitch it to him and let him throw it right here.
Fake handoff, quarterback rolls left. It's caught by number 11, the other
Really
quarterback,
just about a yard. Only a gain of about a yard.
Yeah, Joe, you're right. He didn't get much because as soon as he caught that ball, he was tackled.
1 yard, third down 9.
I didn't catch who made the tackle. Joey Hartley made, thank you, Al Qualman. Hartley made the tackle there.
Joey Hartley.
Joey on the spot. Joey Hartley.
Joey
hit him as soon as he. All right, 3rd and 9 for the Texans. Can they convert here and keep this drive alive, trailing 35-0, 5:20 to go in the second quarter? Milton steps back. He's flushed out of the pocket. He goes left, breaks a tackle, 40, and he's going to get close to the first down if he didn't. Let's see. They're going to mark him at the 33-yard line, and I think first down right at the yard to make. He tiptoed down that sideline, Joe.
He was under tremendous pressure, and he broke out of there and just cut for the sideline and made it.
Well, they needed 9, and they got 9. So now 1st and 10 for the Texans at the Viking 32-yard line, knocking on the door again, but yet to break it into the end zone so far tonight. Twins right, single left, one in the backfield with Milton. Here's a snap. Milton steps back. Now he's being chased out of the pocket, and he throws it out of bounds.
Pass intended for number 11, Justin Tone.
It looks like number 28, Keswin Kenny, was given some pressure in the quarterback in the backfield.
Yeah, immediate pressure, and he just tossed it out of bounds.
Second down and 10.
Nowhere to really go with that ball.
Yeah, Joey Hartley defending over there on the far sideline. All right, 2nd down and 10 at the 33-yard line for the Texans. Twins left, single right. Here's a snap.
High snap.
Quarterback keeper over the right tackle. He gets just past Eric Williams, and he'll go down to about the 29-yard line.
4-yard gain on the tackle.
James Grondo is, Javion Moore on the tackle.
Well, for the Texans, it's sort of manageable, 3rd and 6. I mean, and obviously they're going to go for it on 4th down, so it's 2 downs to make the 6 yards.
That's a good point.
So
3rd down and 6. He rolls left. Oh, and his receiver didn't turn around, but he threw it pretty far behind the receiver. That time he's being chased out of the pocket. I think it was Jerry Hood that went back in there, number 32, that was given pursuit to the quarterback. And Joe, like you said, it's 4 down territory. It's 4th and 6. Twins right, single left, 1 in the backfield. That's going to be Holly behind Milton, the quarterback.
4th down and 6 from the 29.
they've got their other quarterback kind of lined up in a tight end position. It's really kind of interesting.
Yeah. And now a timeout is called by the Texans. I wouldn't try to be dramatic. I was just waiting for the call to see officially who called the timeout. That's their second timeout to call of the half. They'll be down to one timeout. 4:31 to go. The Vikings lead 35-0.
Treats from Chick-fil-A. Be sure to download Chick-fil-A One app.
Well,
Scan when you order.
I mean, this is sort of a, obviously they're down 35-0, but this is a key play for the Texans. They need to get the first down. They need to try to get in and get a score before the half in order to try to see whether or not they can kind of work their way back into this game, even though they're down 35-0. If they don't do anything here, it's really going to be a difficult situation for them mentally to keep themselves in this game.
Now, Mel texted me just a minute ago, said the fumbles by the Sam Houston Texans has him convinced Jimbo Fisher needs to get the Texans on the Aggie schedule here this fall. All right, they've got a 4th and 6 situation. Here's the snap. Milton's being pursued, breaks a tackle that Joey Hartley was trying to administer, and now he throws it in between some receivers in heavy traffic. The ball's going to go over on downs.
Well, that was, like I said, a key play for them. If the Vikings can come down and score here, make it a 42-0 game, then it's almost turn off the lights time.
And that happened last week. The lights went out and didn't come back on, or the lights didn't come on. Was that 1 week ago, Joe? I mean, Jay, 2 weeks ago, there was a home game and they couldn't get the lights to come on. There had been a storm the previous Thursday night. They cleared the field. The teams were gone. I'll finish that in a minute. Hand off to Caleb Phillips up the middle across the 30. He'll get to the 34-yard line. That'll be a 5-yard gain. But they had the teams had already gone to the dressing rooms. The fans were leaving, and then the lights came back on, and they were able to get the game played with a delayed start to about 8:30 or so. But so speaking of turn off the lights, they couldn't turn them on 2 weeks ago. So a 5-yard gain there by Caleb Phillips up the middle brings up 2nd down and 5 for the Vikings.
And he's got to be disappointed with that 5-yard gain.
Trips left. Dawson's on a quarterback keeper coming this way, and he'll get tripped up at the 35-yard line, a gain of 1 yard. Number 27 for the Texans is Jaden Williams.
It's one of those things where I don't know if I were Coach DeLay, if I'd be running quarterback keepers now up 35-0. I just would be a little bit wary of having my quarterback being hurt in this particular situation.
That's a fair observation there, Joe. Well, now we've got trips looking to set up on the far side, and that's Cam Brady, Trayvon West, and Leandre Roberts. So some big heavy hitters all lined up on the far side. Colt Fuller at the tight end spot this side. Dawson throws to the far side. It's a little bit high out of the reach of Trayvon West, and some good coverage by number 3. Javion Carr was the defender there.
Well, I mean, it's not only that it was difficult to catch because it was high, but it left Travion West exposed, very exposed. So
in danger of taking a good kidney shot there. Well, 4th and 4.
West was definitely exposed.
Yeah, 4th and 4. This will be the first punt by the Vikings. Dawson back in punt formation.
Dawson to punt. Who's deep? 7.
He's passing it.
Fake punt.
To number 12. Number 7.
And that was interesting.
That was a fake punt pass, and the receiver.
Now there's questions up here. Is it
The fake punt will end up in a ball going over on downs. 1st and 10. Texans.
it was a pass play, but it never looked like it was intended to be a punt. And someone up here thinking, well, maybe they forgot what down it was. Either way, ball goes over on downs.
Well, he certainly was in. Yeah, he was definitely in punt formation. The receivers, though, I agree. The receivers didn't look like they were looking to catch a pass. They looked like they were going down to cover a punt.
Brought down by Harold West, number 10.
I did not understand that play at all.
And 11.
So there's a loss of 1 yard on the 1st and 10 Brings up second down 11. One of their linemen charting off the field, number 71, Eric Martinez. Don't know if he kind of twinged an ankle or something there. Twins left, single right. 2 in the backfield with Milton. Second and 11 at the Viking 36-yard line. Now there's some movement. Both offense and defensive lines are pointing at each other, but no contact being made. The ball wasn't snapped. This is going to be illegal procedure against the Texans, most likely.
The Vikings showed blitz,
and I think that just kind of startled the offensive line of the Texans. Here again, 3 officials down there making sure they get this call right. They're all conferring. I don't think any contact was made when the Vikings jumped. Pretty good conference going on down there around the ball. And now we're about to see a march off 5 yards against the Texans. Well, now he comes back to the conference. And a false start against the Texans is the call.
False start against the Texans, the indication.
Well, yeah, the Vikings came flying in on the blitz and crossed over the line, but didn't touch anyone and caused the offensive line of the Texans to flinch.
Here's the snap. Milton's back. He throws to the far sideline, and that's out of bounds and over the reach of number 7.
Oliver, incomplete.
Bryce Oliver, the intended receiver.
Sort of a nice route run by Oliver.
It was.
And he was open. It just was a poorly thrown ball.
And Joe, I'll tell you, Elijah Crenshaw was the defender. Oliver's given Crenshaw kind of a run for his money in the secondary there, but unfortunately for Oliver, the passes are going out of bounds out of his reach.
I mean,
number 4, Hawley takes the handoff. He'll be stopped at about the line of scrimmage. It looked like he might get caught up behind the line.
Right. Well, going back to that pass play, I mean, Crenshaw took him down the field. It looked like he was going to go deep, and then stopped and came back on his route. And the ball, if the ball had been thrown to him, I mean, it would have been a nice completion, but the ball was just poorly thrown.
Well, that's going to bring up 4th down and 16 for the Texans at the Viking 41-yard line. Now it appears with that quick strike Viking offense, they're letting the play clock go down as far as it can. They want to take as much time off the clock, I think, coming up on halftime, because I'll tell you, Coach DeLay, great sportsman, but he'll score every point he can in the first half because nothing's guaranteed in the second half. And now a timeout is called as the play clock dwindles down towards 0, and that'll be the Texans' final timeout of the half. 1:20 to go. And, Joe, I'll say an apparent punting situation coming up. 4th and 16.
Right.
You know, in a situation like this, there's been some punting trouble. Why not, as you say, do a little trickeration and see if they can't pull something out? And
you've got nothing to lose if you're the Texans. I mean, you really don't. So you can try anything. I mean, obviously, it's 4th and 16, which just makes it a little bit more difficult because the yardage is just almost. It's very hard to get over. I mean, that's the problem, because you're not at 4th and 7 or 4th and 6 or something like that. You're at 4th and 16, so you're going to have to really come up with some tremendous play, and they haven't shown the propensity to make any kind of.
Joe, they're lining up
plays.
to go for it with trips right, single left. Milton in the quarterback position. The punter is number 11. He's a slot receiver on this side, so it looks like they're going to go for it unless Milton does a quick kick thing. Now, Coach DeLay is out on the field talking to the officials about something, the head referee, the white cap, and that's what's keeping things from getting started here, and I'm kind of curious what DeLay is asking about. The head referee down there is kind of emulating some type of movement by a player, or he's dancing. I'm not sure which it is. Coach DeLay is sort of dancing with his hands back. Now they've stopped their discussion. And it looks like we're ready to go. 4th and 16. Trips right, single left. Empty backfield for Milton, the quarterback. And now a whistle blows and timeout is called by the Vikings.
Oh, boy, The crowds are getting a little restless here because, it is a little wet. It is 35-0, and there's a lot of.
And it's in the low mid 40s out there too.
You're trying to make me say Mitsubishi again. It's not going to work. Lights off.
Jay Ryan gets to call out the license plate and make and model of a car with its lights on, and he's having a hard time with Mitsubishi tonight.
Isn't that the name of a TV?
Mitsubishi.
Well, now the timeout called by the Vikings. 1:20 to go in the second quarter. The Vikings do lead 35-0. Officially, Joe, 28 of those points scored in the first quarter, with the fourth touchdown scored as time expired. But
Hey, scoreboard guys, the Vikings still got one more timeout.
Al Qualman noticing that the Vikings still have a timeout left and indicating maybe they'll call it just to keep things going. All right, once again, 4th and 16 for about the third or fourth time. Trips right, single left. Milton steps back. He throws deep to the far sideline, and that's going to be out of bounds. And that time Crenshaw was covering. It looked like, again, number 4, Hawley. Was it Hawley or?
No. Who was the
What number was the receiver over there? Number 3,
receiver?
Javion Carr.
Javion Carr.
Well, it can't be. He's a defensive back.
I can't see the
Maybe it's number 7. I think it's number 7, Bryce Oliver, because he's been that receiver on the far side, and he's been giving Crenshaw a run for his.
7.
It's Oliver who had been out there the whole night.
Was the intended receiver. Ball goes over.
So the ball goes over on downs on the incomplete pass. The Vikings 1st and 10 at their own 41. Now they come out with trips left, single right.
Here they go. Let's see if they can score before the half.
Here's the snap. Hand off to Phillips over the right guard up the middle across midfield. He'll be bulldog down at about the 45-yard line. So that's going to be
You got 14 yards,
14 yards.
which is exactly what he normally gets on that play.
They stop the clock to move the chains. Clock rolling. 1:05 to go in the game in the half. Here's a snap. Dawson steps back, throws to this side. Wide open Cam Brady at the 35. Stiff arms a guy and gets to the 30-yard line. Let's see.
Yeah, 30-yard line.
Yep. And that'll be good for a Viking first down. Clock stops to move the chains.
It's out of bounds.
Pushed out of bounds.
Oh, it's out of bounds also. You're correct. And they move the chains. Trips right, single left. Phillips in the backfield behind Dawson. Robertson motion to this side. Dawson steps back. He looks left, now looks right. He's got time over the middle. Trayvon West catches it at the 15, and he'll go down to about the 10-yard line.
The catch.
And to the 9-yard line. First and goal at the 9. That was a 21-yard gain, Joe.
Yeah.
21 yards.
Upbeat tempo here, trying to get one more score before halftime. And now Twins left, single right. Phillips to the left.
He's open.
He's got a receiver open in the end zone. Touchdown Vikings. That's Trayvon West from Jack Dawson. Well, what did we start with? 1:08, was it 1:14 or so to go?
14.
So that's 74 to carry the 3 minus the 2 square root of pi. That's about a 44-second drive.
That is 44 seconds.
Did you like how I got there though?
Yeah, that was took a roundabout way to get to 44 seconds.
You know, when I went to A&M and I took a geometry class, they said pi or square. I said, no, pies are round, cakes are square.
Yeah.
The kick is good.
Yeah.
And the kick is good, by the way, in the new score. Vikings 42, Texans 0, with 30 seconds to go in half.
They probably included that in their curriculum from that point forward, knowing A&M.
That revised the syllabus for that class. And I'll take credit for that. Well, Joe, this will be a little more complex scoring drive here.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really difficult.
42.
It was a 44-second drive. It took 4 plays, went 59 yards. There was 1 run and 3 passing plays on that, and it culminated in the touchdown pass into the corner of the end zone.
Look at all the 4s there. 44 seconds, 4 plays, 4 first downs. Started at the 41. That's a good poker hand.
Okay, Rain Man.
Yeah, definitely lots of 4s. Definitely lots of 4s.
Football will be at
Thank you very much for that one. That was good.
Lamar band performs.
All right, so the ball is teed up. Blake Ford set to kick off here once again. 42-0 is our score with 30 seconds to go in the half. There must be just a little light drizzle. I don't know. There's a few umbrellas up, but I don't see anything that looks like it's hitting the track or anything. Okay, here's the kick. It's up. A little shallow. It's going to be fielded at the 20-yard line. He'll come over to the far side, 20, 25, breaks one tackle to the 30, out to the 34-yard line. The ball is dropped after he is down.
15 yards.
Braxton Thomas picks up the ball thinking he might have had a scoop and score opportunity, but he was down.
He was definitely down.
Definitely down. Yeah.
Definitely down. 23 seconds to go in the half.
Would you think
But
they
the
would go
Vikings
deep?
do have one timeout left.
Very good point, Joe. Let's see if they use it strategically here. First and 10 for the Texans at their own 35-yard line after the nice return. Here's a handoff up the middle. I was about to say over the left guard, but he didn't get to the left guard.
He was hammered as he went up the middle.
They were very kind and gave him a 1-yard gain on the forward progress. Looks like the time may expire before they should try to snap it once, I would think, but time's going to expire. And 42-0 will be our halftime score.
That's the end of the first half,
Yep.
ladies and gentlemen. Lamar, 42.
Joe, you've got some drive chart summaries there.
Drive charts. There were
Followed by
6
Lamar.
drives. There were the first one is 4 plays, 52 seconds, 30 yards, 38 yards, 7 plays, a minute and 4 seconds. There was a 1-play drive of 46 yards that took 8 seconds. Another 1-play drive of 50 yards that took 3 seconds. A 9-play drive of 80 yards that took 2 minutes and 28 seconds, and a 4-play drive of 59 yards that took 44 seconds. Obviously, all of the drives were under 1 minute, with the or 1 minute and 4 seconds or less, with the exception of the 2 minute and 28 second drive.
Wow.
That's just an incredible display by the Vikings offense
Quick
when they
strike.
had the ball. Very quick strike, and 2 of the drives that were only 1 play. So that was an unbelievable display by the Vikings offense.
Joe, here's some scores from other games in the district. District 4 here. Bowie leads Pascal 41-6 at halftime. Arlington leads North Crowley 28-7 at halftime. And Martin leads Trimble Tech 49-0 almost halftime. And then out in West Texas, which is interesting because that starts to look at some of the teams that we may face in the playoffs first or second round. My old high school, Odessa Permian, leads Midland High 42-0 late in the second quarter. Midland Lee leads Amarillo Tascosa 28-20 late in the second quarter. And Odessa High taking it on the chin from Wolfforth Friendship just outside of Lubbock 28-0 midway through the second quarter. So lots of football going on, lots of lopsided scores here and out in West Texas. We are going to take a break here. We'll be back a little bit before the end of the halftime, before the kickoff. For Jay Ryan, Tim Perry, Steve Langford, Al Qualman, and Joe Toronto, I'm Bill Frawley. We'll be back.
Goes to Aurelie Cumanero. The Texans are under the direction of Mrs. Betty Hernandez and Jasmine Duran. Tonight, the Texans will be performing an exciting hoop routine to Give Me Everything. Blessed by the drumming and hard work and dedication, dance is Diego Rodriguez. Color guard member of the week is Randy Gonzalez. Tonight, Texas Band is announced that the 2019 Spirit Show, including LTT, the Hay Song, and Fight Song. Band directors are Arun Fox, Jillian Adams, Jesus Martinez. Color guard instructor is Franklin Gardner.
Across the land. The midnight hour is close at hand. Creatures crawl in search of blood to terrorize y'all's neighborhood. The award-winning Living Dead Lamar Drag Queens under the direction of Lori Woods and Madison Parrott. The Drag Queens are sponsored by Miss Persis Studio of Dance, Mahaffey Weber Attorneys, ATC Shuttle of Service of Arlington, Purple Heart veteran Christopher Crosby and wife Delilah, and Allstate agent Javier Nahara. The Vikings would like to recognize Erica Favor and Colleen Bryant as our educators of the week. The zombie of the week is Violeta Rodriguez. And the spirit zombie is Mia Roberts. Social Vice President Edwina Adams. President Cassandra Noyola. The Viking officers are Lieutenant Jaira Davis, First Lieutenant Aitana Nakira, 2019 Captain Aaron E. Bacon. We would like to congratulate our sisters, the Texan Sisters of Sam Houston. And though you fight to stay alive, your body starts to shiver. For no mere mortal can resist the evil of thriller.
Ladies and gentlemen, Lamar High School proudly presents for your halftime entertainment under the direction of head drum major Terrence Lewis and assistant drum majors Natalia Simon and Eric Leahy, the Lamar High School Marching Band. Lamar Band is sponsored by House to Home Plans and Fairbanks Packaging. Tonight, due to the weather, the band will not be performing their 2019 production, The Box, but sit back and enjoy Runaway Baby. Congratulations to Cindy Barona, Band Member of the Week. The band member would like to thank the band parents for their support and, most importantly, feeding them on the trip to Waco last weekend. Congratulations to the Sam Houston Band on their Division I rating at UIL. Now, get on your feet for the Lamar High School fight song!
Yeah, let's do it! Gentlemen, here's our big moment. There was a competition earlier this week where everybody did very well. We went to Chick-fil-A on North College. And we have, unfortunately, Carmenza Marino, the operator of the store, is not with us tonight. And representing her and her team at Chick-fil-A, other than the cow, is Beth Ann Jones. So they are honored to present a $500 check to one of the two booster clubs that showed that we have spirit competition. It was held between the band and the football club. The winner of the $500 check on the field is Dax Griffith with the football and Amy Humberton, and it goes to the football booster club. $500 to the football booster club. Congratulations. I'd like to say thank you to all of the students and families that participated. We've got spirit. Thank you to Chick-fil-A.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to hum along by ourselves in the second half. Both bands are going inside to protect their instruments, and so maybe there'll be a demo of the band inside, who knows. But so we'll have a little bit quieter on the top. Stop by the Vikings third sales booth and pick up your favorite Viking spirit item. Come back, come and check out the new arrivals for the season. Brand new swag yourself. Viking band gear. Make sure you pick up your copy of the football program. If you don't want to pick it up here, you can download it from the website, ourviking.com. We still have a tailgate winner coming up in between the third and fourth quarter. rumor has it that we do have a band in the stands on our side. It's Eugene Hawk with his blue whatever it's called. Give us a try. Oh, that's
Well, welcome back to the broadcast. A couple of 3 minutes left until
Next week, the Vikings travel
the end of halftime. Again, the Vikings lead 42-0.
See you there, Vikings fans. Then Thursday, November 7th, is our
The
final
band has left the
game.
stadium, or they're in the process of leaving it. Brian Stein, who's the voice of the Lamar Viking Band, letting us and the crowd know that they're trying to preserve the investment made in these uniforms and such, especially coming up on marching contest seasons and stuff. But, you know, one of the players' dads,
Tonight's game is being webcast, audio live.
Eugene Haas, is down there with one of those horns that they use at soccer games. Joe, do you know what those horns are called?
Radio late
They use them at the soccer games, and they...
Yeah, I don't know what the answer is.
So you've got friends
I don't know what the answer is to that, Bill. I would just call them horns.
Okay, I'm going to Google it.
Lamar Radio.
What are the horns called at soccer games?
According to simple Wikipedia, a vuvuzela is a blowing horn commonly used in soccer games in South Africa.
Vuvuzela.
Up on his or stadium horn.
It's a vuvuzela.
Vuvuzela.
Yeah, vuvuzela. That's the official word. Well, there we go.
Vuvuzela players, please stand.
So, yeah,
All Vuvuzela players, please sit down.
we're laughing because Jay Ryan now knowing the word to use. Eugene Haas. Eugene Haas, whose son Taylor is on the varsity team, and he's been a big supporter of athletics up here. He has a vuvuzela, as we have just verified that it's called, and he takes that to the away games and the home games, and it's fun to hear him. And there's one or two others of these in the stadium apparently also. Well, Joe, what are some recap thoughts of that first drive?
Well, you mean the first half?
I'm sorry, the first half. I said drive,
The
yeah.
first drive I can barely remember because
Because it lasted so long.
Right, exactly. I think that obviously we've had it. I just at the end of the first drive was 30.
How many plays were on that?
Four plays were on that, Bill. It went. Yeah. So no, basically what you can take from the first half is that there's really been no resistance by Sam Houston to the offense of the Vikings, and so they've had their way with the football and been able to score kind of at will and score quickly. So and with regard to the defense, Sam Houston has not been able to mount any kind of offensive drives, any kind of offensive drives at all. And they've had a couple of opportunities where they've made some inroads, but then they've had some penalties that just kind of stopped those in their tracks. So it's been a lopsided first half, as indicated by the score. So you really can't take too much from what's happened on the field, other than the fact that there's been total domination by the Vikings.
Well, and as you pointed out at one point during the first half, Joe, the Viking defense has been out there on the field a lot because of these short drives by the Lamar offense, and yet they have not given up any points. A couple of times the Texans got deep into Viking territory, but to no avail, as the shutout is still in progress. Now, we will possibly see the starters as Dawson back in maybe the beginning of the third quarter. We'll see. But I expect to see Colt Fuller come in at quarterback, if not Cade Hoogerworth, who we saw play a lot against Trimble Tech, actually. So it'll be interesting to see at what point some of the backups and backup linemen as well that will come into the game.
Yeah, I think that's exactly the case, just like we saw with Trimble Tech. It doesn't make any sense to keep Jack Dawson out there or some of the other starters because you risk, particularly on a wet field like this, you risk the potential for injury. You've got the potential for injury, and so we'll just see if at this point, if they score one more time, whether those backups get into the game, and they really should. It doesn't make any sense to keep them out there.
Well, at halftime, one of the things that happened, in addition to the great performances by both bands, North Arlington Chick-fil-A presented the Football Booster Club with a $500 check because this past Tuesday there was a contest to see who could get more receipts put into their bucket at Chick-fil-A, either Band Booster Club or the Football Booster Club. And the Football Booster Club won by a margin of about $200, so they got the $500 check. There's the kickoff to begin the second half. It's fielded by Trayvon West at the Cam Brady. Now he reverses course. He's almost down at the 10. He's still on his feet, breaks through, and he's going to finally be stopped at about the 17-yard line. But wow, Cam Brady ran a lot of yards and actually ended up losing about 3 or so on the return, but he did come out of a scrum at the 10-yard line. Joe.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be stopped way back after he turned and kind of ran towards the goal line, but he did break out of it and at least got back to the 17.
Well, make sure that you check out the Lamar Viking website at lamarvikings.com. There's all kinds of great information there, including the weekly coaches show that I do with Coach DeLay. 1st and 10 for the Vikings. Pass. I was about to say complete, but Trayvon West drops it. That was right in the breadbasket, it looked like.
Yeah. Good pass by Dawson, and just not handled by Trayvon West.
Dawson takes the ball, hands it off to Caleb Phillips around the right side across to the 19-yard line. He'll get a couple of yards on the play, and that'll bring up 3rd down and 8.
56. In on the stop, number 56, Moses Luke.
Luke will get the credit for the stop for the Texans. Trips left, nobody right. Phillips in the backfield. We haven't seen Anthony Williams in the game at all. Lots of time for Dawson. He throws it this side. Cam Brady catches it at about the 31-yard line. And that will be a 1st down. He's going to be marked officially at the 30, I think.
Yeah, that was a nice play because Dawson had to throw all the way across the field on that one, and he put it right on target.
Yeah, that was not too high and right where the receiver could get it and didn't give the defender much of a chance. Trips left on a very short side of the field. Dawson takes it. He hands it off to Phillips, who goes over the left tackle, 35-40, up to the 42-yard line, maybe 41.
Looks like a 12-yard
42-yard line, 12 yards, and that's another Viking 1st down.
Yeah.
One on the tackle.
Leading the charge, Tyrus Simon.
I'd really like to know how many yards Phillips has tonight because he's really been running well.
Definitely so. Tyrus Simon, the tackler on that last play. Dawson hands off to Phillips again over the right guard across midfield.
Ooh, he took a shot.
And he did take a shot, but wow, he pops up and he knows where he is. That's a good sign. And that's going to be just a yard shy, but 9 yards on that run by Phillips up the middle. Twins right, single left. Fuller in the tight end. Phillips behind. Throws over to this side. Caught by the tight end, Cole Fuller at the 40. 35 to the 30. He's bulldogged down by number 3, but that's going to be a big gain. And it looked like number 3 there for the Texans, Javion Carr, might have grabbed some face mask, and when Fuller came up, he looked like he was readjusting his helmet.
Yeah.
Quick tempo again by the Vikings. Twins right. Now a timeout is called. I think it's going to be the Texans, and it is. They're saying, hey, give us a break here.
No, it's give us a break.
Yeah, right. Well, the timeout is called. The quick tempo offense by the Vikings continues here early in the 3rd quarter, leading 42-0 and moving down
Yeah, they're
Remember, ladies and
taking
gentlemen, there's still one
it
more
right down the field.
tailgate prize being given away by Chick-fil-A.
So, yeah, well, I was talking about the website earlier. Be sure and check out the website. There's lots of information, activities, calendar, things that are going on. And Coach DeLay, I'll have to say, when we do that coaching show, he is very open. He's open to any question I've ever asked. He's never said anything is off limits. And we'll ask some fan questions. It's a variety of things that are addressed. It's an entertaining 15 to 20 minutes each week. Back to live action. Twins left, single right. Phillips in the backfield. Dawson throws to this side. Gets short hop to Cam Brady.
Incomplete pass.
And that's going to be incomplete. And that'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
2nd down and 10.
I thought for a moment that Brady reached down and scooped in. It's hard to tell here, but it must have hit the ground, and I can see where it would have because, you know, earlier in the game he short hopped one over to Cam Brady, and I think it was a similar thing here.
Right. You know, Dawson made a nice fake on that and then turned around and wheeled around and threw it to Brady. Unfortunately, just drilled it into the ground.
Twins left, single right, one in the backfield. Dawson takes a snap. He's looking to the left side. Now, a little pass over to the running back, Caleb Phillips. He's going to get to the 20.
I'm not sure that was a forward pass. I'm sure that looked kind of like a lateral.
Yeah, that was interesting looking, the way he kind of just shoveled it off there.
I think he was behind him when he threw that.
Yeah, Phillips came out of the running back position over into the flat. But there we go, 7 yards on the play, 3rd and 3. Now Twins right. That's Trayvon West and Leandre Roberts as the slot receiver on the far side. Cam Brady, the receiver on this side. Caleb Phillips in the backfield. Colt Fuller, the tight end. Now he goes out in motion. Dawson throws to Leandre Roberts in the flat, and it's out of his hands. And that's going to bring up 4th down and 3. Now, will they give Blake Ford a chance to kick a long field goal?
They're probably going to go for it. Oh.
Nope, here comes Blake Ford out onto the field with the kicking tee. Now, it's interesting. This is a wet ball situation. And you know what? You're far enough ahead. Why not give him a chance and see what he can do? So 21-17, about a 38-yard field goal attempt here by Blake Ford. He made a 42-yarder last week in Fort Worth in dry, no-wind conditions. Let's see what he does here.
Right, you're right. Let him try it and see what happens.
Here's the kick. It's got plenty of leg. It looks like it veers to the right, but it's good. It sneaks in the right upright. Wow, that was a close one. But that ball had leg for another 10 or 15 yards.
Enough distance on it. There was no question about that.
And it kind of took a weird hook at the end, didn't it?
Yeah, it was. It's strange, and you wonder. When you look at the wind, you know, off to the side here, Bill. It's blowing.
Definitely so, Joe. Well, that was a 38-yarder that probably could have gone at least 48 in kind of a wet condition here.
Yeah.
So, and remember, he's only a sophomore. That's
well, you know, some college teams could certainly use him right now. Some pro teams could use him.
I know one or two that would be happy to have him. I'm happy that you can't raid the high school lineups before they graduate like they can college lineups.
SMU's got kicking problems.
They do.
Yeah, so
that's true.
And a field goal tonight.
And 6 for 6 on extra points.
And 6 for 6 on extra points.
Blake Ford having a light-up night here. So 6 and 3, that's 9 points for him on the game tonight. I was not a math major, but I can do that math. It stayed single digits for me.
Right. Well, that geography degree, you know, you can tell us where we are. And
I can.
Yeah.
I can tell you where I've been. There's a short kickoff. It's high, plenty of hang time. No one's under it. It's bobbled, but it's going to be fielded by number 2, and that's going to be Juan Garza. He was a little surprised, I think, where that came.
Downs the ball.
So using my geography skills, Joe, that ball landed at about the 23-yard line on the far hash mark. I can't give you GPS coordinates on that, but I can zone it in that far.
23-yard line. 1st and 10, Sam.
1st and 10 Texans at their own 23-yard line. Ball on the far hash mark. Trips left on the short side of the field. Single right. No, Twins left as a tight end. Here's a handoff. Comes around this side. He's going to be hit in the backfield. And he might make it to the original line of scrimmage, or nope, loss of 1 yard. Second down and 11.
Second down.
Hawley, the carrier there out of the backfield, the running back.
Leading the tackle charge, Keyshawn Harris, number 46.
Keyshawn Harris, the tackler. Here's a completion to the far flat. He's got room across the 30 to the 35-yard line.
And he picks up the first down.
Pass is complete.
And that's number 2, Juan Garza. He's the one that fielded that kickoff a little while ago. 13 yards will make it 1st and 10 for the Texans at their own 35.
27 making the stop.
Harrison Griffith made the stop there. Here's a quarterback keeper, and he's going to get about 2 yards. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, a little bit of a trap play there, but he takes it up the middle.
We're going with the up tempo again.
Trying to get some momentum going here, or keep some momentum going. Second down and 8 at their own 37-yard line. And just to let y'all know, they are going with a running clock for the remainder of the game.
Who's that, the concession guy?
Handoff, a little bit of a draw play. He'll get across the 45 to the 50 and over into Viking territory at the 49-yard line. So that's going to be a 16-yard gain.
And 27, that's Hood and Griffith on the stop.
Face mask.
And there's a face mask penalty against the Vikings, and I believe that will be tacked on to the end of the play. So that's going to go down to about the 34-yard line, and that's going to set the Texans up in a good situation, 1st and 10 at the Viking 34-yard line.
So we're going to roll the clock now, are we? Officials have asked us to start rolling the clock. We will do so.
Now, the clock isn't round. How will it roll?
Clunky,
Okay.
but very timely.
There we go. 1st and 10 for the Texans at the Viking 34-yard line. Twins right, twins left. Justin Tone comes in at quarterback. He'll take it straight up the middle. He fumbles the ball after he's made first contact. Jerry Hood made the first contact, and it looks like number 12, Sir Durham, is going to get credit for the recovery.
I didn't see who actually picked it up.
Nope, number 2, Braxton Thomas is going to get the credit for the fumble recovery. He's got the turnover belt over here on this sideline.
Yeah. Just when they start moving, Bill, and something bad happens like that.
Again, that's, so many drives.
It's been the story of their offense. When they've had any kind of success, it just something bad happens to stop them in their tracks.
Cade Hoogerworth is the quarterback, and the ball goes on the ground. Cade Hoogerworth is the quarterback, I believe.
Ball 51.
And it's a fumble. Number 51 for the Texans is going to recover that. Looks like Uriel Rodriguez. Uriel Rodriguez makes the fumble recovery. So, Joe, now they're back in business.
Right.
2 fumbles, 2 plays in a row.
Fumble by 18.
The snap was a little bit awkward on that, but I think it might have actually hit Hoogerworth before he was ready for it.
Yeah.
And hence it just kind of dropped down to the ground.
Well, it's just, when you change quarterbacks like that, sometimes it's just...
9 is back as quarterback.
Milton, the quarterback, he hands it off to Hawley. He might get back to the line of scrimmage at the 24. And that's where they're going to mark him, so no gain. Second down and 10. Some of the Vikings getting up from deep in the pile there. Number 9, Javion Moore. Number 32, Jerry Hood. We've called his number a lot tonight.
Right. Really, there was nothing doing on that play.
Twins left, single right. Milton, the quarterback. He throws deep to the corner, and that's out of bounds. Intended for number 2, Garza.
And again, he had him open.
Incomplete. 3rd down and 10. 29.
So 3rd down and 10 for the Texans.
Ernest Jackson, number 29, the defender.
Number 2 coming in now.
Number 29, Ernest Jackson was defending over there. Braxton Thomas back into the game for him.
Number 9 now the quarterback again.
Milton is the quarterback. Twins left, single right. Hawley, the running back, behind Milton. Play clock down to 4. 3. Here's the snap. Milton throws to a receiver at the 20, at the 19-yard line. He'll dive forward to the 15. He'll be just a little bit short of the first down, about a half a yard short. That's going to bring up fourth down and about
82.
24 inches.
Tyler Paul.
Tyler Paul made the catch there.
Now Holly is taking over as the quarterback. They've got
Just in Time takes the snap. He goes to the right side. I mean, Just in Tone. I said Just in Time.
Yeah.
Just in Tone takes the snap, goes to the right side.
Keeps the ball.
And it looks like he's real close to the first down. They're saying he made it, so that's a first down on a fourth down conversion for the Texans. The ball spotted at the 14-yard line. First and 10. Jerry Hood in there on the stop.
First and 10, Sam Houston.
Holly takes the ball around the left end. He'll be tackled
Holly down to the 10-yard line.
to the 11.
He was tripped up by
Number 80.
Darius Pendleton.
Oh, Darius Pendleton made the tackle there.
So it's 4-yard gain. 11-yard line, yeah.
Second down.
Trips
7.
right, 2nd and 7. It's a little pitch to Holly. He gets to the 10, to the 5. He gets pushed out of bounds by Braxton Thomas somewhere around the 6-yard line.
At the 6-yard line.
That'll be short of a first down.
Braxton Thomas.
They got to get to the 4, so that's going to be 3rd down and 2 to go.
3rd down, 2.
A lot of guys in the backfield right now for the Texans as they take the play from the sideline. One receiver is set up far right. Now 2 more come to the right side. Trips right, a tight end to the left. Holly in the backfield behind Milton, the quarterback. Holly takes the ball, breaks one tackle, and he's in for the touchdown. And there goes the goose egg off the board. The Texans score a touchdown.
Well, that's it. The shutout is gone.
Yeah, and the Texans deservedly celebrating over there, get some points on the scoreboard.
Look at the stands over there.
Well, the new score, waiting for the point after, 45-6, 1:52 to go. Kick is up, and that's a line drive through the uprights, and it's 45-7. The kicker for the Texans, Ali Akbar. And now, as the clock rolls at 1:30 or so left in the game,
In the quarter.
in the quarter,
You want to roll the borders too? Yeah, I'd love to. I just
now they're asking for the clock. Maybe they're asking for the clock to stop between possessions.
For Sam Houston, 24 yards, 6 plays, 2 first
So
down.
45-7. Joe, have you seen a score of the Astros playoff game yet tonight?
3-1 Astros in the top of the 5th.
Well, thank goodness. I'm hoping they can do something. I'm going to make a try at one of these drive charts here. This is the Sam Houston drive chart. 3 minutes and 42 seconds off the clock, 24 yards. Result was a touchdown, 6 plays, 4 of them on the ground, 2 in the air, 2 first downs. And the new score, 45-7. Thank you so much, Tim Perry. Well, a rare sight out here as the Texans are kicking off, and we've got Trayvon West and Lugalski deep for
Rogalski and
the
West.
Vikings. They're back inside the 10-yard line.
We're going to see what the second unit of the Vikings offense can do against the Texans.
Well, that's kind of a line drive kick that's going to go out of bounds at about the 36-yard line.
Flag on the play.
Penalty flag comes in to indicate the ball went out of bounds on the kickoff. And the Vikings, I believe, will have a choice here. And I think since it went out of bounds on this side of the 35, they can take it at the spot. And that looks like what's probably going to happen.
36.
What we're laughing at, some of the voices up here in the booth are saying, make them kick it again. Well, we're just kind of waiting here to see what the official
hanging out,
action is going to be. The ball spotted at the 31-yard line.
It'll be 1st and 10 Lamar at the 31-yard line.
All right, so
Where it went out +5.
Vikings come out onto the field.
24 in the backfield.
Cade Hoogerworth.
For Lamar is Cade Hoogerworth.
Leandre Roberts is the running back. Twin receivers left, single right. Hoogerworth takes a snap, hands it off to Roberts, comes around this end, makes a move, and he'll be tackled behind the line of scrimmage.
Brought down.
Tackled by loss of 6.
Loss of 6 yards.
6-yard loss on the play.
7. That would be Bryce Oliver.
25-yard line.
He didn't have much of a chance on that one, Bill. They were in there pretty quickly.
They read that, yeah, and
Yeah.
they got in past the offensive line of the Vikings. So now 2nd down and 16 for the Vikings at their own 25-yard line. Hoogerworth takes a snap, throws to the far sideline, incomplete, just over the hands of the intended receiver. His jersey is kind of
Who is that?
scrunched up. It looks like Mugalski is the intended receiver.
Number 10 is on the coverage.
The coverage, it was really good coverage, Joe, by number 10.
Yeah, he
Matthew,
was right
your
there.
buddy, Matthew Buckaloo.
Matthew Buckaloo?
You were wanting to say his name earlier, yeah.
Dying to say Matthew Buckaloo's name.
Well, Matthew Buckaloo was the defender there, and that was good coverage by
His jersey's
him.
kind of rolled up, so I can't really tell.
And the clock rolling down, 2 seconds to go in the third quarter, and that's the end of the third quarter with the score. The Vikings 45,
The
Texans
end of the
7.
Third quarter.
So partly due to the rolling clock here in the third quarter, the Texans have outscored the Vikings 7-3 in the third quarter.
Absolutely. That quarter, it just kind of whizzed by, don't you think?
Yes, it did.
And one in the first quarter. Chick-fil-A tailgate prize. Congratulations. It goes to Alexander Madison. Alexander Madison. Please go to the Chick-fil-A.
Well, Joe, another strong showing by the Vikings here, and again, for several games this season, the starters are getting a bit of a rest early or partway through the third quarter.
Right. I mean, they've been able to dominate in the first half of games to allow their starters to, take the second half off essentially. And when you have the luxury of doing that, you keep everybody fresh. You don't risk injury to the starters, and that's a big plus for the Vikings.
And you get these backup players some playing time that they deserve. They've been working hard, and it gets them ready in case something happens and they need to come into the game.
Right.
So Hoogerworth is the quarterback. Takes a snap. Roberts takes the ball, goes up the middle over the left guard. He'll get about a yard. That was 3rd down and 16.
1 yard. Give it to 42 and 58.
We're going to say that's about a yard, maybe 2, somewhere. That'll bring up 4th down. Dawson will come back out for punting. I doubt we'll see any kind of a fake here.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't make any sense to
Yeah.
do that.
The only thing that would happen is if there was a bad snap or something, you had to salvage a play. But
Javion Carr deep for the punt. Dawson to punts.
Javion Carr is deep at the 40-yard line for the Texans, his own 40. Here's a snap. Dawson runs over, does the rugby-style kick. That goes to, it's a nice roll inside the 20 to the 15, down to the 13-yard line.
Wow.
Do some quick math. 23 and 33, 66 yards on the punt. 66.
Yes.
Yes.
To the 13.
Yeah.
Or more than that.
63. From 26.
63 yards. Again, not a math major here.
1st and 10.
But I did fail differential equations at A&M twice.
15-yard line.
Not a lot of people come out of there saying that.
When the score is 45-7, the confessions start coming out.
There's a handoff up the middle. He gets about 2 yards up to the 16-yard line.
Anything else you'd like to confess on the air, Bill?
Well, there was this one time. No, I think I'll stop there at the failing differential equations twice. The statute of limitations hasn't run out on everything yet. 2nd down and 8. Twins left, single right.
Shotgun.
26 again.
There's a handoff to number 26. He'll go around the far sideline, and that's going to be David Robinson.
He's going to lose yardage to the 11.
You know what his
I
friends?
thought he retired from basketball.
Do you know what his friends
Now
say
he's
when they
playing
go over to
football.
his house
Yeah.
to his mom?
No.
Hello, Mrs. Robinson.
Stop Jerry Wood.
Only the old timers are going to understand that
I
reference.
thought they said cuckoo, Mrs. Robinson.
Well, it could be. My goal each week is to see if I can get the two officials working the scoreboard to laugh at some point, and I think I might have done it. Quarterback keeper Milton, he'll go across the 20, 25, 30. He's out to the 36-yard line, maybe the 35. The ball came out, but I think he's going to be signaled as being down by contact before it was an actual fumble.
Yards on the carry by Milton.
34 yards, 29 yards on the play.
Well, they're moving the ball. That's the good news. The bad news is they're down 45-7, and the clock is running out.
True that.
Because of the rolling clock.
Now, there's an interesting set. Twins left, single right. One in the backfield. Tight end off the line. Here's the snap. Handoff up the middle. Robinson to the 40-yard line. Maybe to the 41.
To the 41, that's 6-yard gain. 37.
Number 37 making the stop, Eric Smith.
Eric Smith for the Vikings makes the tackle there. It's fun to be able to get to call out some of these guys' names that don't often get playing time here. Twins right, single left. One in the backfield. That's Robinson. No, it's a quarterback keeper to the right side, zone read, and he's smothered. Some of the players in there are number 40, Sione Tehima.
Tehima making the stop.
And 32.
Jerry Hood also in there helping out with the tackle. Third down and a long 3.
Right. You don't know whether or not that
Short
would have worked
4.
if you had just handed it off, but he certainly looked like he had a big hole up the middle.
Definitely so. Twins right, single left. Robinson in the backfield behind Milton. Takes a snap. Steps, throws to the far sideline. It's caught. Across the 40, 45. He'll have a first down at the 46.
46. It's a 5-yard gain.
Caught by 82.
82.
Pass is caught.
Pass is caught by number 82,
Paul. First and 10.
Tyler Paul.
Sam Houston.
It was tough to see who made the tackle over there. But that's a first down for the Texans at their own 46-yard line. Twins left, single right. Robinson goes in motion far side. Milton's being chased out of the pocket. He'll just throw it out of bounds. There was a receiver in the area code. He was out of the pocket anyway.
Yeah.
But he's being chased by numbers 46 and 47, Keyshawn Harris and Quentin English. Joe, what were you going to say?
No, I was going to say there was no intentional grounding or anything like that. He was out of the pocket,
What down
and
is
he
it?
got it well past the
Sure,
line of
6
scrimmage.
and 4. Okay.
Yeah, second down
Down.
and 10. Twins left, single right. I formation. Here's the handoff to Robinson over the left guard across to the 50 to the 49-yard line. So that's a 5-yard gain. Brings up third down and 5. It was fun to watch. I think it was number 73, the center, that did an extra barrel roll over here on this side.
They're moving the ball pretty well against the second unit of Lamar.
They are. Third down and 5. Twins left again, single right. One in the backfield. That's Robinson next to Milton. Here's a snap. Robinson, no. It's a pass over the middle, caught by number 11 at the 35-yard line. He'll get to the 32, and that's going to be Justin Tone, the other quarterback, went over there and in a tight end position.
Yeah,
Harold West made the tackle. Joe?
they line him up in the tight end position quite a bit.
Roughing the passer against Lamar, the call.
I didn't even see that happen. I was
No, I
watching
didn't
the
either.
the play
Exactly. I was
downfield.
focused on the reception,
So
not the quarterback.
Roughing the passer is the penalty against the Vikings. That'll tack 15 yards onto that play, and this is going to put the Texans inside the red zone at about the 18-yard line.
The end of that reception. It's first and 10.
First and 10 for the Texans at the Viking
The 18-yard
18-yard line. Ball on the far hash mark. Twins left. Single receiver right. 2 in the backfield. One of those being the other quarterback, Justin Tone. Here's the snap. Over the middle, and in and out of the hands, and a kind of a rough
He
hit.
got nailed.
intended for
Number 10, Harold West, hit the receiver as soon as the ball went through his hands. it looked kind of like a tough hit. It looked clean, but it's one of those where you don't know what the officials might call. No flag on the play. Incomplete pass brings up 2nd down and 10.
Well, it was another one of those high passes that leaves the receiver kind of exposed for a hit like that.
Milton still in at quarterback for the Texans. The other quarterback lined up in the
2nd down and 10.
tight end spot. Twins left, single right. No, it's a quarterback keeper on the zone read. He gets across the 15, across the 10. He gets to about the 8-yard line.
Another first down.
To the 8-yard line.
And that's right where they needed to get, Joe. You're correct.
Actually, 1st and goal on the run.
Jerry Hood was in there to help make that or lead that tackle.
Making the stop.
And now 1st and goal for the Texans. Clock rolling at 4:10 left in the
First and
game.
goal from the 8-yard line.
Vikings clinging to a 45-7 lead here late. Twins left. Here's a handoff to Robinson around the left end. Number 37 for the Vikings, Eric Smith, makes the tackle. He got some good penetration back there in the backfield, and then he grabbed onto the kind of the shins or the knees, and he got dragged a little bit, but he didn't let go.
He held on as he was being carried for a while.
Quick tempo by the Texans. Milton, the quarterback keeper, he's tackled from behind at about the 5-yard line. No gain.
Yeah, he made a nice cut. Unfortunately, there was a Vikings defender right there to tackle him.
And that was Eric Smith again, who came around
nice play
and
by
tackled
Eric
from
Smith.
behind. Again, he's quick. We'll be watching him, I'll bet, next year as he moves up in the ranks. Twins left, single right. Modified I formation. Here's a snap, handoff to Robinson. He's hit across the line of scrimmage, gets to the 2-yard line. And that's going to bring up 4th down and goal at the 2. Jerry Hood leads the tackle there for the Vikings.
4th and goal.
Now the Vikings secondary or 2nd and 3rd string defense going to try to make a goal line stand with it 4th and 2. Twins left. Now Justin Tone is the quarterback with Robinson to his left. Now a timeout is called. Timeout.
Oh.
Timeout Texans with 2:40 to go, and the laughter, if you can hear it up here, is because of just the fact that the clock is being stopped here during a rolling clock 4th quarter.
Next week, ladies and gentlemen, the Vikings travel to Wildman Stadium to take on the Louis
2 minutes and 40 seconds left in the game.
Yep.
Timeout.
Game starts at 7 p.m.
45-7. Get ball on the 2-yard line. Can the Vikings get a stop?
Competition steps up next week, Joe. The Vikings are going to head over to Wildman Field and play the Bowie Volunteers. Bowie, one of the, I would say, top 4 teams in the district. Lamar's biggest competition so far has been against Martin High School,
right?
And they got walloped in that game. There were some chances, but they got walloped. Then following that will be the season-ending game at home on a Thursday night against the Arlington Colts. So we'll have a rare Thursday night broadcast. And in fact, in that one, we'll be able to show live coverage of the field because it's not a Friday night game. All right, 4th and goal at the 2. Trips left, single right, one in the backfield. Justin Tone is the quarterback. He takes a snap. He goes over the right side. Touchdown, Texans.
Touchdown, Texans.
Well, that'll bring the score up to 45-13, pending the extra point. Ball will be placed at the 3-yard line for the point after attempt.
Will we see the onside kick?
Will we see a kick with the rolling clock at 2:08 going?
21, the kicker.
Now, number 62 is leaving the field, hopefully just in time to not get the penalty for illegal substitution. Oh, I love this. Oh, so what happened here was the snap went to the holder. The holder flips the ball over his shoulder to a man in motion around the end. He throws a pass into the end zone and is just out of the reach of the receiver. So on, what do you call that, Joe, when they do that stuff?
Trickeration.
There you go. We have some fans that love that word, by the way. I got to let you know. In fact, they message me and say, make him say it, make him say it. No, but anyway, we've got the missed conversion, but that was fun to watch that. What do you call it?
Trickeration.
There you go.
Absolutely. That's You know, why not do it? Why not pull out all the bags? Your bag of tricks and try.
Don't hold anything back.
Work on some things while you're down. I mean, that's what you're out here to do at this point when you're down that far.
Joe, that was a 14-play drive. Took 7:52 off the clock, 86 yards, 5 first downs.
19 in
He
back.
can call timeout if he wants to. Set up his onside kick.
The new score, Lamar 45, Sam Houston 13. The Vikings out on the field. Trayvon West and Mugalski are deep at their own 10-yard line. We've got some hands guys, though, up along near the 50-yard line, anticipating a possible onside kick.
Better get it off because there's only 27 seconds left to go in the game.
Like I said, maybe we'll see a kick, maybe we won't with 21 seconds.
Akbar to kick.
Shall we run it back?
Let's see if there's going to be some 10 seconds to go on the clock.
He hesitated. He started. There's only 7 now.
There's more time on the play clock than the game clock. I don't think we're going to see a kick. 3, 2, 1, and that's the ball game, ladies and gentlemen, with the final score. Lamar 45, Sam Houston 13. Lamar, again, powerhouse first half. We just kind of talked about it.
Right, exactly. Took care of business in the first half. Didn't have to worry about the second half. Just kind of coasted through. Got the second and third stringers some playing time, and that was important. And got the victory. And now move on to the test against Bowie.
That's right. And then the week after that, it steps up even more against Arlington High. For Steve Langford, I almost said Steve Perry. For Steve Langford, Tim Perry, Al Qualman, Jay Ryan, and Joe Toronto, I'm Bill Frawley saying VFND.
The coach.